We
are
might be
live.
live. It's highly possible we're currently live.
All right, let's see. So I go to YouTube Studio. How do I go find the actual live stream? What's that under? Oh, live. Here we go.
We are currently live. I just have to get the chat up, and then we can wait for people to actually show up.
You could, yeah, there we go.
Chat
Sweet.
is
Okay,
up.
I will make a drink while people trickle in, right?
Uh-oh. Now I have to entertain the troops.
Oh, Delta, aviation
That was
guy that
fucking
says "yo"
fast.
every single time.
Oh,
Oh my
said
God,
the
they're
bad
coming.
word
Oh
too
Jesus,
soon.
brace for impact. Fuck.
Yeah, get out of here while you still can.
All right, I'm gonna
It's
make
not too late to run away.
While our people coming in, I'm going to make a what is it called?
Are you going to make the FPS Russian or the B-58 Hustler?
We haven't figured out the B-58 Hustler yet.
That's true. That's a question for the chat.
Oh yeah. That's definitely.
What kind of drink would you call a B-58 Hustler? Because it's a cool name for a drink, but there isn't actually like a drink.
And we were very drunk when we were trying to make it.
Yeah. None of the things we came up with tasted good or looked good or sounded good at all.
One of them was okay.
Yep. If you're just joining us and you haven't seen this before, the way that it works is if you missed the live, it will be available to people on our subscribe stars in VOD format after the fact. We used to edit them down and make them into like podcast segments, but people would, I think, much rather watch the long form.
Yeah, I'll probably timestamp it. There we go. Look
yeah, timestamps are good, but the long form then they get the funny banter and they get the drink mixing at the beginning,
shit.
so it's more fun that way. They get this, they get the outtakes. Oh, of course. Of course, this is Operation Nova Drop after all.
There we go. Was that Pete? No, it's a Moscow Mule. Eighth in line. Is that
It
that
will
Walsh?
eventually be P.
Is that Walsh from Thin Line? Dude, in your newest video, you got quite the facial hair going. I dig it. I called you Tactical Walsh.
Walsh is always tactical, so what is the beard doing for him at that point? It's making him look tier 1. It's tier 1.
Yeah, okay, that's probably what
he's always tactical, now he's tier 1.
Yeah. Happy early St. Patrick's Day. Yay, what a way to spend the last 30 minutes of our shift. Well, if Hop ever started on time... Actually, we did start on time. Fuck, I take it back.
You need to get a chair for that dog, because the way she's perched right now is a little weird. She doesn't look comfortable. She needs to be comfortable. Perfect. And then immediately your head is going to block the dog.
Well, that's perfect, because every time I move slightly, it's like, is that a fucking dog?
Yeah, and the dog will sort of...
Oh, here we go. Oh, like this, yeah. Meanwhile, the dog down here is very upset. If she sits pretty, does she come into camera view? Nova, sit. Sit pretty. Oh, she's trying. Oh, she's trying so hard. Damn it. Here, we'll show the dog. The two dogs.
Go. That is the money shot. That's the juicy content people are flocking in to see.
Patches be back in stock. I have a new set of Nova Girl. I have a new set of patches coming. Here, let me see if I can throw it up on screen. There we go. This might be the one we're gonna do.
Can I link your big cartel in the chat, or will it block me for attempting to...
It won't matter because you can't buy it right now, so...
Oh, well then, fuck you guys. Find it later on your own time.
When does Nova get her own chest rig? I will never make her carry anything. That is what I'm for.
She already got
Why
her
do you
own,
think...
No, I think a Nova branded chest rig or a chest rig for Nova to wear. Because I was going to say, she already got her own scope.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Just get somebody to make a chest rig called the Nova.
The Nova. Okay, so the way we
line of Nova-themed tactical gear.
The way we generally do this is, oh my god, you could tell when I open up a Word doc. Look at the monitor.
That's how we did our studio lighting last time. We just opened up Notepad and went full screen.
Can I get something less bright? Holy fucking shit. There we go. Okay, so the way we generally do this is we have 3 topics. We'll do some fuckery first, but then we'll launch into our 3 topics. 3 topics we got for tonight, if you're curious, is we're going to talk about the trip. Hop came over for basically exactly 7 days. We did a bunch of stuff. We tested a bunch of gear, so you can get early, quick access at what we're looking at. And then we're going to go talk about 300 Blackout is the next topic after that. Kind of some use cases for that. I have a really full-fledged video that I'm finishing up right now, where I kind of get into a 300 Blackout Sentry Gun POU. And then the final topic is, I forgot. What's the final topic?
Battle rifles.
Was it battle rifles?
Yeah.
I don't think it was battle rifles. Oh, it was battle rifles. Okay.
It was battle rifles.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So we'll talk about those things. Hey, Yuvan, what's up? Brass, are you mechanical engineer? No, better. Material science. Can Hop get closer to the mic or turn you up? That's actually a good point. Let's. It is actually a competition. Ask any engineer. Thoughts on QSS OSS QD 556 suppressor? Are you talking about the 556K? Because I'm gonna get one of those. I'm about 200 days into the wait. 250 days, something like that.
OSS? Do you mean Huxworks?
Huxworks.
You got to stick your finger all the way down your throat in order to say it right. All right.
It bugs me greatly. I don't. Oh, here we go. Okay, so if you put it on the side monitor, there we go. I want to see the chat, but not the video, because the video on the YouTube is about 2 seconds delayed, and it's kind of creepy.
Yeah. Plus, even if it was live, looking at yourself live would be weird.
I mean, I have myself live on the right monitor, so.
Captivated by your own visage.
Wow, look at those eyebrows. Was on the verge of buying a Trigicon MRO until I watched your guys' video. Glad I waited. Electrical engineer. Those guys are pretty base. They got all the chicks.
You're thinking about electricians.
No, electrical engineers. Electrical engineers were pretty cool. Platypussy 1911 thing that takes Glocks. What the fuck? If you were a potato, you'd be the sweet one. He's a yam. What state is Hop in? He's in
state of misery.
He's in Orgussie. It's
Don't
okay.
refer to states ever again. Don't ever say the name of another state. I'm worried about what you're going to do to it.
Twist rate in your 300 Blackout video. Not really. I'm more talking about the POU. 300 Blackout and raw stats is Hop's thing. Because Hop recently rediscovered he likes PowerPoints.
I do like that a lot. All right, do we have enough victims gathered?
Yeah. Nova, stop. Go away. Go away. I have a new dog. Psionics MP3 BCGs. It's just the BCG. I'll be real. Like, as long as it's a quality BCG that doesn't have problems, I'm moderately... Excuse you?
There's a video from School of the American Rifle where he talks about coatings. I'd say go check that stuff out. If you're interested in specifically, like, Psionics is a good brand. It's one of those weird brands where somebody bought the name Psionics. Has nothing to do with the original company Psionics, as far as I know. But yeah, if you're curious about the coating specifically, I'd say just check out Sotar, because they had a video about phosphate nitride, nickel boron, all that other stuff. So if you really want nerd details, go watch School of the American Rifle on YouTube, or go follow Munition Works on Instagram, and you will learn gun stuff.
Thoughts on Mike Glover? No comment. I was going to take a...
I like it when he does the turret thing, because I used to love Mech Warrior when I was younger, and also currently. I like that the guy's got torso twist. Most human beings don't have torso twist.
Dude, I wish I was still in school when I did Brass Facts. Because when I was in school, I had access to the stuff easily. There's no problem that people would only dream of in the gun community. Rockwell hardness machine, I can do it in 20 minutes. Like, throw anything under there. and it does a little thing on it, and it gives me a Rockwell hardness. That's what it does. We put a broken cell phone under it too. Light transmission was the big one. We could shove a scope in a light transmission machine, and it'll tell you what light overall percentage transmission, and then what wavelengths on a graph make up with that. We use that a lot for polymerization to see how clear our polymers were. Love that this channel is a better Nut and Fancy. Now, it's just an evolution, right? You know, Nut and Fancy handed me the baton, and now I take it. Myself and Hop are sharing it together.
Carrying the torch.
Yep. We need to know if there's bad blood over the Elcan Spectre. Hop didn't even want to fucking shoot the I was like, hey, Hop, you want to shoot my rifle here today? And he almost spit. I think he did spit on me. I didn't notice.
Mm-hmm. Because there's nothing to be learned from the Elcan Spectre. Although, I still bought an Aimpoint T2, and I already know everything I needed to about that. So, there's a lot of bad blood over the Elcan Spectre, yeah. He bought a
can we get one more?
one.
I have two of them. Can we get one more audio check between myself and Hop's audio? When will you do a video with Risky Krisky? Next stream. We're locking that bitch in.
Yep. We're going to make Risky Krisky talk to us.
Brandon, alpaca male. That's what a syrup is, I assume. I don't actually know what a syrup is, but everyone keeps asking. They're talking about the little cape thing that, like...
A serape?
I don't know. Yes. Hop is a little bit quiet. Turn your shit up, Hop.
I can't turn it up. I mean, maybe I can.
Yeah, shouldn't there be a... that one doesn't have a gain knob, does it?
I was worried. Like, last time I got a little too up on the mic, and I was, if I remember correctly...
Does watching Risky Krisky put you on an FBI watch list? Abso-fucking-lutely.
I think I'm on the wrong... hang on. Let's see if it's even on the wrong device, maybe.
You're on the right device.
Discord's...
Are LPVOs back yet? I am a big LPVO lover, and in this topic, I think Hop will slowly realize that he never liked LPVOs to begin with.
I'm pretty sure I didn't like LPVOs to begin with, but now I no longer trust variable optics.
Okay. What watch are you wearing? There you go.
The regular one.
Can I buy the one? Can you send that to me?
Sure.
Cool. We'll put it on the Acro P2 tab. So every time he comes over,
I think I can barter. I think I can barter enough stuff to just not have to pay you for this.
Every time we come over, people steal stuff. It's hilarious.
I'm doing some valuable testing right now. You can see how fucking bright this stupid thing is, and it's shining in my eyes.
Oh yeah, there you go. Usually
however many hours I spend testing this for you, I will of course deduct at my usual hourly rate from the cost of the Acro P2.
You're unemployed. We work for free. Best LPVO, probably the PLXC at this point. Okay, let's launch into the first topic.
Yep.
Not to go full show mode, but generally speaking, we're not going to answer questions during the topic. Otherwise, we will never fucking get anything done. So if you want a question to be saved, you need to use the super chat, essentially. You can even do just $1 and it'll work, I think. But I will save the super chat questions, and then we will get it after the topic has concluded.
Yeah, it could be like
each topic's
two
about
topics and then a question break, or do it all at the end or something.
No, we'll do one topic, questions, one topic, questions, one topic, like we did last time.
Yeah, the first time we did this, it was brutal. We were going for like 3 hours on half of a topic because we just kept answering questions.
Yeah. So we're gonna finish the topic, then we do the question. Okay, first topic. Hop came over. It's almost exactly a week. Not really a week and a half ago. Last week. Yeah, last week. Time flies when you're unemployed.
Yep. And then the daylight savings time destroyed his feeble brain. Now
we were. For some reason, the first time I stayed up till 1 a.m. was like in a long time while drinking a shitload. Also happened to be on daylight savings day, and I got destroyed.
One of the perks of having a day job was that they would warn you. They'd be like, "Make sure you set your clocks forward before next week." And you'd be like, very smart. Not happening anymore.
Nope. Okay.
So yeah, what do we do? We basically, like we always do, we try to just test a whole bunch of random shit that's currently on our docket in a couple of different types of shooting. So we did the old running and gunning, which is always fun.
We did less run and gunning this time around, I think, compared to the last couple times. I think we took it a little chill this time because it was chill. It was
did
just
the
a little
walk up
cool.
a hill and shoot down the hill. That's always fun.
Yeah.
I do love myself some shooting down the hill.
Honestly,
And then
the
the
day when
coolest
we were
thing,
shooting in the mountains, that was probably the best day. So one of the days we went up on the side of the mountain and we shot, downward, and the snow came pretty fast near the end. In about 20 minutes, we got overtaken by a snowstorm. You can see the footage on our Instagram or the pictures on our Instagram. Damn, we got wiped out pretty fast, and yeah, it was good.
good stuff. We also camped in a snowstorm. We really experienced the full brunt of the very two brief snowstorms. Like the
That
snow
Utah, yeah.
didn't stick around because it's too warm, too late in the season. I guess all we got was mud. But I think the special treat for us was going to the farm and doing like sort of an ad hoc little impromptu vehicle moving and shooting class with Odyssey Training Company, which is a guy named Chris Cook, I believe.
Chris, I only remember Chris. Nice, you remember his last name, yeah.
So he had it written all over his ear pro.
Oh, did he? I also only saw Chris, but yeah,
Unless he stole those, yeah, he might have stolen those swordings from somebody
Chris,
else.
it's not actually his name's actually not Chris. Yeah. We went to the
Mr. Cook. I know where your ear pro is.
we went to the farm and did some vehicle stuff. It was pretty cool. Like a lot of times when you go to classes, at least for us, it's not about the big picture stuff. It's like the little tidbits you get, and the way he talked about fighting around vehicles was pretty useful. Like I picked up a couple cool things, and the ability just to really push the envelope of like shooting against a car is really nice, because when you normally shoot against a car, you're like every time you get to the car, you get there and then you add like 5 degrees of safety net to it.
Say when you had your old Jeep, you were pushing it pretty close to the old Jeep in some shots.
Yeah.
Now that you have a car that actually works, maybe a little less bold, but yeah, the ability to move and shoot between multiple vehicles, like that's one thing. Like unless you get 4 people together and park 4 trucks across, a range, and then everybody's like cool with everybody else who's there shooting around their vehicle, like man, that's a big ask for anybody. And that's not even getting into like the weird, like getting out of the vehicle or shooting from inside the vehicle. Even just bounding from vehicle to vehicle is already kind of difficult to pull off. And then getting sort of the perspective of I don't know, I guess the way that you can kind of think about it, and I think what Chris showed us and was talking about really is like think about all this stuff well in advance, to the point where it becomes more or less second nature. So you remember the ways to line yourself up behind vehicles at certain angles, because you don't always have time to like go up behind a car and be like, all right, let's see, I want to have A pillar, B pillar, and C pillar as much as I can between me and the target. You just sort of, I guess you're supposed to just get used to the idea of like when you come up a vehicle from a certain angle, you know where to be because you've already thought about it in advance based on, you want to put material between you and a threat, I guess.
Yeah. It's like before, it was all I really thought of was like I'm getting behind the engine block, and that was the extent of my game plan. And actually, really, I just more viewed like other than the engine block, really, I just viewed cars as spicy concealment. Like sometimes it'll do something, but it's not something you can rely on. So that was super cool. And then we went to the fucking hobo abandoned structure in the middle of nowhere, and almost died.
Yeah, that was messed up. The mud season is maybe not the best time to visit Utah, but
yeah, it's brutal.
I don't know. You guys have some interesting. It's almost like being back in Oregon. Those abandoned meth cook shacks.
We had to travel for that one. We don't have too many of those, unless you go down to slightly south and go to the Schmitty. What the fuck was it called? The wiring company. Your favorite word? You're just gonna leave.
Oh, Spliggity.
Spliggity. Yeah, there's a wiring company called Spliggity. It's a great name. Holy fucking shit.
This is way too esoteric.
Anyway,
okay, so back to vehicle shooting. There was like I'm not like somebody who does that kind of stuff very often, and I definitely had the video game inclination of like I'm gonna stick to the car because that's how I know I'm in cover.
Yeah, when you walk up to a video game, like in the past you had to like press a button, but nowadays your video game character like magnetically attaches to the cover when you move up on it.
Yep.
Not
Yeah,
that you
so
would know, you don't play
that's
modern games, right?
yeah, exactly. Well, I played all the original cover-based shooters back when they all fucking sucked. But that's yeah, the problem for me was like it's really hard for me first of all not to just stick to the vehicle because it's like, oh, this you feel more in cover the closer you are to something, which is the opposite of how it should be. Like it's much worse to be super close to a piece of cover, generally speaking, because I think you used the hockey analogy or the air hockey analogy, right? It's like you come up, you come up off the goal, or the goalie analogy, you come up off the goal to increase the or decrease the angle at which somebody can access the goal, and you are the goal, and the piece of cover is the goalie, or it's the the puck, not the puck, whatever the thing that you use to play air
Yeah,
hockey
yeah,
is. I should have
yeah.
just picked one of these analogies and stuck to it, but you know what I'm talking
We're
about.
all over the place. Yeah, because I kind of had a little bit better of understanding that because I view it as pieing, right? It's really hard to pie close, but it's really easy to pie far. So that was a big part.
And the other problem that I have is that I really want to stabilize off of a piece of cover if I can and take a nice, slow, accurate shot. And I think Chris kept like reminding us, like, okay, we're talking about like vehicle to vehicle distances, like something has gone wrong in a traffic situation. Say the target is 30 feet away and it's quite large. You don't need to be
Stabilized.
stabilizing both hands on a vehicle and really lining up your shot. So I was very proud of the fact that I was getting some fantastic groups, but that was not the point of the exercise at all. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think you
stuff
see
to
people
stuff
see
to think
cover
about,
and
stuff
it's
to
like I
practice on
want to
your own.
use the cover, but realistically, like especially your skill is sufficient that it was a race between, or not a race, but a competition between you and me of who was the best pistol shooter that day. Because one of the spots you can't stabilize, and we were shooting like 110-yard steel target with handguns. So like you have the accuracy, but I think you see the cover, and it's like must utilize.
I think there will be, yeah, if you put together the video about it or something. There's a clip where you can see me taking careful, stabilized shots at a full size cardboard silhouette that's literally 10 feet away from me, and I don't know like what my brain was like.
Yeah,
Let's and
that's one thing if you
I
notice it
was
in the video.
stabilized. I was prepping to trigger. I was like, what? And like as soon as the drill was over, I was like, oh fuck, that was stupid. But in the moment, same problem with like you know just certain mistakes or whatever that you make, that they just don't seem at all weird. You don't even realize them, and then as soon as you finish the course of fire, you look back and you're like, why did I do that? What was that about?
Iggy.
Need more practice.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I kind of want to do some more, like come back at it again after having a night's sleep where it's like been internalized multiple days. Anything big, like moving on from that? Anything big that you reviewed that kind of new for the trip? Any cool stuff? I had all the new stuff, I think, right? Mostly going into
Yeah,
this one.
you had all the fun gear. I didn't have anything particularly cool. I was just trying to completely wrap up uh, the Sig Tread 716 because
That
I don't
that
know why. I don't know why. I think it's because I love that rifle so much that I'm like, wait a second, let's be a little bit slower. Because if I don't like something for obvious reasons, it's a lot easier to just like send it out, right? But with that rifle, I really like it, so I'm really trying hard to see what's wrong with it or what
Yeah,
what
you're
might go
giving it
wrong.
extreme, like, because there's like different tiers of reviews, right? You can do about 500 rounds or whatever. It's arbitrary number of rounds and get a pretty good review out of it. But if you want to really like meld with the gun, it takes more time, right?
Yeah, and maybe that really is what it is. Is like nothing's gone wrong yet, and at this point now I'm starting to completely trust the rifle. I'm like, yep, all right, this thing's good to go. Nothing's going to surprise me at this point, I don't assume. So, pretty much ready to wrap up that review. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
needed to
need
get
like
some
500
a
rounds
little more
before I
class.
stop hating a gun for not being like a gun I'm used to.
Before you stop hating the gun for not being a gun you already have.
Yeah, yeah. I did a bunch of stuff. I did the Raid, XE, um, the ESPS, the Chinese laser. They're all basically as you expect. The Raid XE is a really good laser that costs about $1,000 too much, and you can't get it. The
Yeah, I don't know. I was not shooting new gear. I mean, I had the T2 on my nighttime gun is new, but it
It's a
In
red dot.
all ways other than light transmission, it functions the same as the MRO HD that I had on there previously, including mount height. And then, well, other reflection and build quality and the fact that it's not a fucking MRO. But other than that, that gun was pretty much the same. So really, yeah, it was just sort of trying to ring out the 716, do some shooting with 6.5 Grendel. And
that was a pain.
God help me, falling in love with 6.5 Grendel. What a magnificent cartridge that is.
Yeah, I mean...
More on that later.
Yeah. All the footage of you having malfunctions. Although you fixed the malfunctions by swapping out those mags, right?
Yeah, figured out it's just a magazine issue, or at least on that gun. What I am kind of postulating so far is that it's not that one brand of magazines is bad and another brand is good. It's more like the platform itself isn't as robust as the AR-15. So we're like, people will talk about bad AR mags, like MFTs or hex mags. And those are bad by like the AR-15 standard, or like they don't last as long, or they're more prone to follower tilt, or like other various from the perspective of any other rifle on the planet is just a tiny nitpick.
Yeah.
But like, man, you
totally have it really good with the AR-15 platform. Like, my God, this mil-spec trigger sucks. Dude, like, that's the best trigger in a lot of other fucking things by a long shot. Speaking of mags, Lancers.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was interesting. So the Duramags, the C Products Duramag 6.5 Grendel magazines don't work with the upper that I'm using right now. And thought maybe it was a lower fitment issue, so tried different lowers. No. So those mags didn't work. Got some Elanders, which are stainless steel, and they're way more expensive, and those worked perfectly. But when I was doing research initially online, I read the exact opposite. There were a ton of people who said, I use these fucking Elanders, and they would never feed, and the followers would bind up, and they suck ass. And then I got some Duramags, and they work great. So I'm just thinking it's one of those things where, it's like AR-10s. Any weird caliber AR-15 or any weird platform like an AR-10 that doesn't have any good standardization, you just have to try everything. AR-9s particularly, you have to try everything, every combination until you make your gun work, and then all you really have proven is that your exact configuration works. Which is one of the reasons it's really hard to recommend people delve into something like that. Unless you're going to buy, I guess, a complete LaRue rifle, but those cost $3,000 and they're back ordered like 18 months.
It feels like these unique caliber. We're dabbling into the fucking caliber video, but it feels like these unique calibers are literally like, what was it? They're all unique little creatures. Like you have to figure it out by yourself every time. Like there's not good enough information out on them.
I don't know if it's possible to have a perfectly turnkey, 6.5 Grendel build. The closest you can get to turnkey is probably just buying a really nice rifle. And you still might need to find mags that work with it. You might need to buy multiple sets of mags until you get them to work. Or maybe you'll buy a set of mags, think they work, and then you'll try a new load, and the overall length of the cartridge is slightly longer, and all of a sudden your mags stop working. You're like, God damn it. AR-15s are more fault tolerant, I think, at this point. But, yeah, on the subject of magazines...
Oh, Lancers.
How's that? How are those Lancers treating you, bud?
I haven't even had them that long. It's only been about 1,500 rounds. No, 1,300 rounds of 300 blackout plus a little bit. Because I had the bunch you left over literally a year ago, and then I didn't do 300 blackout for a year, and then a box of 1,000. And yeah, they kind of suck. And like I know they suck. I can tell that they suck right out of the get go. Why? Because PMags are polymer, yes, but they're composite polymer. It's polymer with little bits of fiberglass in them, or nylon, whatever. And that drastically makes... I mean, you fuck with polymer, or with PMags, right? They're bricks, right? You can almost bend a metal mag more like aggressively than you can a PMag. Not quite, but it gives you the rough idea. Lancer mags, they're just pure polymer. It's not a composite, or as far as I know, there's nothing in it, right? There's plastic guys. Good that he's It's nylon 6.
To make it clear, right?
Yeah, it's like, nylon 6, right? Even if it wasn't clear, like you can still make it polymer, right? The hex mags are just pure polymer mags as well. I'm pretty sure, and they're not clear. But yeah, it's just pure polymer, so it's got a really, really aggressive amount of flex to it, and it's just simply weaker. It has a really low ultimate tensile strength. And that happened. Yeah, mine are starting to crack and break.
I think you can just tell by running your finger across a magazine or even a
You can
plastic
just
in general.
squish
I know,
them
like if you
this.
watch,
It's like Tupperware.
yeah, or just the feel of it. Like a Lancer is smooth plastic, a PMag is rough plastic, Hex mags are smooth plastic. Uh, if you watch AVE Arduino versus Evil on YouTube, his thing that he fucks with like tools and stuff. He'll take them apart, and then somewhere on the inside of the tool, he'll take like a like an X-Acto knife, and he'll carve a little bit of the plastic away to try to basically feel the way that it carves to see if it's got like glass fiber reinforcement inside the plastic. It's like that's, he'll carve a sheet like a little shave of plastic off something, and be like, that's not. I can't do his voice. I'm not even going to try. That's not reinforced. Oh, this is a shitty tool.
Yeah,
and then he'll come up with a hilarious name
AVE
for it.
is a national American treasure, and he's not even American. That's how.
Well, he is American because Canada is in America. Geography, Brock. You went to school for the wrong thing, man.
I'm a fucking idiot. So
Black and Decker, more like Black and Sucker.
Dumber.
DeWalt, more like Fail. Well, I don't know. Man, he had some good ones, and I can't remember any of them.
Or fucking Skookum. Yeah,
Craftsman. It's not Craftsman, it's Craftsman. Haha. How deliciously insightful.
Oh my fucking god, he's lost it. So you're getting rid of the D2 you mentioned. It's funny because we filmed the D2 stuff.
Yeah. I love it, but I don't want it on any of my guns.
Just put it on your nightstand.
I could just keep a $1,250 paperweight on my desk for whenever I need to test night vision stuff against other night vision stuff. Yeah. But yeah, even on an 11.5, it really messes with everything. And I don't want it on that 11.5, and I don't want it on a longer gun. When I see people with a side-mounted D2 on a suppressed SPR, with a medium magnification scope and a piggyback and all that, I was like, you must be so miserable all the time. You just don't even realize it.
Yeah, you're gonna put the DIRV on it, and you're just gonna it's like it's not even there. And the button control.
So now I've got to pick another laser, but I'm not particularly interested in
any laser.
Yeah, not any of the current lasers right now. I'd like to try something new, but I'm not interested in trying something that isn't like generally available to the public, because that's just not that interesting to me. Like, what if I tell you like, oh, some guy let me borrow his the Engol? Like, if I could borrow an Engol, it'd be fun to play with for like a minute, but what's the point? Am I going to come away and be like, yeah, I highly recommend that you guys get an Engol?
So I just did the Raid XE video, right? And that's a similar problem.
At least those you can theoretically buy.
You can put yourself on a back order with a Raid XE at least. So
but if you want one right goddamn now, you can spend $5,400 to get one on tax swap.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Which is the price of 2 used malls.
Yeah, I like
oh well.
I like them all. I'd show it to you, but then I'd get banned off of YouTube. So malls are cool, but 3,500. I mean, if you got the money, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Designate IRV is. See, the issue with the Designate IRV is in a very generous interpretation, we don't know what the durability is like yet, but the power certainly is nice. In a non-generous interpretation, there seems to be a good number of failures with those things. And I've had 2 failures with mine. So the initial one I got was not co-aligned out of the factory. And then I also broke the windage and elevation for the illuminator because the version I had still had that. That was supposed to be a factory thing. They're not supposed to touch that. So the newer ones you get, they actually squirt some glue over those so you can't fuck with them. And the second one I have, after about 200 rounds, like 500 rounds, give or take. I don't know what it's at. I forgot. I need to go check. The constant on functions, I'll double tap it on, start shooting, it'll turn off. So it's momentary only now.
That's kind of a drag. I mean, I'm skeptical of. I'm sure that the company's new, so maybe they'll get better. But I am a little skeptical because I have the original US NV DIR, not the V, just the laser only version. And they somehow, I think they just misunderstood like what the FDA requirements for iSafe lasers were, because they fucked it up and they made the Viz laser and the IR laser both 5 milliwatts instead of doing the 0.7 milliwatt designator like every other civilian legal laser has. So I don't know if they did that because they thought they could get away with it, or if they did that on accident.
Oh, funnily
It's
enough,
just weird.
the not the EOLAD, the HLAD and the MLAD.
Oh,
A
God.
lot of people were talking about.
Don't talk about the EO lad. You'll get me excited.
Not the EOLAD, the MLAD. A lot of people were saying the MLAD might be an option. I think it's the MLAD.
The
But
MLAD is the restricted version. The HLAD is the civilian
Okay,
version.
yeah, the MLAD from Korea, whatever, being imported, looks really robust, looks really solid. It's laser. You can't buy one, not easily, not without LE or mil creds. Turns out the website was wrong. They incorrectly typed it in, so it's not a full power V cell unit. It's basic laser diode stuff.
Yeah, so the MLAD you can't get without credentials. And if you have credentials, why would you buy a South Korean one? It's from the company DIO as well, I think, and their reputation is not the best in the world. I would charitably describe them as South Korean Holosun, but Holosun makes pretty good lasers. They're
pretty good at it.
kneecapped with power. And then the HLAD, the civilian legal version, is literally just a Holosun because it's got the exact same output capability as a Holosun,
$1,600,
but it's really expensive. South Korea is a cooler country than China in a lot of ways.
I like their food.
But is it, I mean, that's essentially that laser is a Holosun LS321, but it's bigger and it might be a little heavier. So is probably extra $800 more than that? Probably get an LS321.
I mean, you can get a 3200
$600
for like 600, like if you really are picky.
Is South Korea worth an extra $1,000 to you? I don't know, man.
I mean, it's cheaper than a PEC 15
badass.
or cheaper than an app PLC. So
yes, that is true. I'm trying to find the right laser. What if it's an app PLC and one of those villain systems diffuser, or not diffuser caps, focusing caps or whatever for it?
No, for
terrible
that
buy because
for
the
that
app
price,
PLC is discontinued. I'm sure they don't make that shit anymore.
And for that price, it doesn't matter because I think a DIRV makes sense at that point if you're willing to shell at $2K. Yeah.
Yep. God, $2,000 for a laser that will probably break at least twice.
Fuck.
Tough sell.
It is a tough sell. Like I said, I really like the Raid XE. The Raid XE, so I'm comparing them all in the Raid XE. They're both really good. If you ignore price for a second, the Maul seems slightly better in functionality in the moment, but all other moments in life, the Raid XE just seems nicer. It's smaller, it's significantly lighter, it's out of the way, and you can adjust the focus manually beforehand. The buttons are a little, it's 50-50, so I like the Raid XE a lot. I'm fucking with them all right now. It's pretty cool too. But my god, both of them are $3,500. Like, holy shit. We're so fucking depressed. We get depressed every single time this happens and we talk about the late. I thought we were getting somewhere.
I feel like it comes up every time. Yeah, because we played with, since the last time we did one of these videos, we've played with like 3 different new lasers.
Oh, CTF2. Mention the CTF2. You've been fucking with that, and I think you're upset about it.
I don't know. I'm frustrated with everything. The CTF2 issue that I'm having is that the Kiji head has insane parasitic drain, which I think is because the CTF2 doesn't have an off setting. So everything is basically always in standby. And if you leave a regular laser in standby, it will drain. Not very fast because there's not a lot of juice going through them. Some more than others. But the Kiji has a lot of drain, and it maybe is because it's always basically waiting for that like 300 tap programming mode where you got to click it like 60 times to change between settings. I don't know why specifically the Kiji seems to have so much drain. It could be VixCell because there's a US Night Vision is making that Vulcan head, which is basically a simplified Kiji.
I'm not convinced it will hold zero.
Slightly cheaper Kiji. Well, there's the two. There's the one that's just the VixCell Illuminator, which is a Kiji with only one mode. And then there's the Vulcan V, which is the one that has the laser, both laser emitters. Remember,
I want
IR.
It's.
You were looking for the Vulcan V.
I think so. The one that has the laser
has
and
the laser and the illuminator. Yep. Yeah, which you mount onto a Surefire body. There's just no way. There's no way that will hold zero. And there's a possibility.
And it won't hold zero when you change batteries
in the first place.
either.
Yeah. It's a weird idea, man, but people are already pretty stoked about putting a whole bunch of weird light bodies on their guns, so
We're just gonna see like four different fucking lasers on this, or surefire bodies on the side of her gun at this rate.
yep. One for the oh boy. What's that? The Luna Optics Elier, which was that weird laser people got excited about because it comes with a little lens that reduces the power down to legal limits, but you can just take the lens off as soon as you get it. And then
When we were designing a laser, in theory, we never made the laser, but we were going to release it and then have someone else go leak potential by accident leak schematics of what to rip out to make it full power.
Was this in Minecraft or Terraria?
This was in Breakpoint.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so we never.
That's how you got to do it.
Why would we make a laser in real life? We don't use these fucking things. So,
yeah, the market's already oversaturated with wonderful devices.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love the FDA. God, this happens. We're such fucking simple creatures. We're like goddamn hamsters. We do the same shit every time we complain about lasers. All right, we'll wrap that topic up.
Yeah, the laser update.
Oh, Oogle. Do we talk about the Oogle? The Oogle is vaporwave for civilians for 2 years. All right, moving on.
Yep, you're not going to get one. Don't wait. Anything else that we should cover from? I mean, we had our wonderful camp out in the blizzard. That was pretty cool. It wasn't actually that cold. It was just miserable for no reason. We kept accidentally petting the wrong dog. That was awkward.
Yeah, we kept petting the other one instead of this one.
Yep. Yeah, we kept petting the real dog even though she's been replaced, and there was really no point.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to start blasting through these questions. Oh, flashback. All right.
Wow. Nice.
All right, if you were to make an updated ACOG, what would you add? The weight's great. If we can maybe get a middle point of eye relief, I swear to God, like half an inch of extra eye relief on the 4X TA31 would just do so much. And then I would probably do a variation of the ACSS reticle. And that's and then maybe move the red dot to the forward position on the TA31 base model. You don't need all that fiber optic anyway, so just go ahead and move it forward, get rid of that excess fiber optic. And we're done. That's pretty good, huh? And oh, the most important feature to add, Trigicon updates their website to make fucking sense and include weights. Nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I would say
I would like a non-chevron version as well, potentially. Maybe more aggressive. I think
one of the things people want is just a mill grid ACOG. Like, I'm sure that would be a little more popular because then it would be totally caliber and barrel length agnostic, as opposed to now where they've got 300 models of ACOG.
A BDC for an 11.5.
That is
Why doesn't that exist? Why does that not exist?
Their 9mm, that's the 2x20, has a 9mm BDC, and they show it on an MP5, and they talk about how it's perfect for the MP5. And it's calibrated for 115 grain, which nobody shoots, from a 16-inch barrel, which nobody has.
On an MP5?
Come on, guys.
Oh, that's what it's calibrated. Oh, yeah, fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, it's calibrated for competition, but they're like, it's the perfect for cops with MP5s. Like, no, it's not. It's totally wrong. But whatever, doesn't matter. I think they should make an ACOG with no tritium because it would be quite a lot cheaper, I think.
They have that.
To manufacture, and no, they have one with no fiber.
Oh, no fiber. They have the tritium, yeah. The tritium. Just fuck the tritium. Just get rid of the tritium. It doesn't do anything. Get rid of the tritium. Yeah, get rid of the tritium.
Especially like people like, what about shooting at night? Well, that's what your red dot on top is for anyway. So fuck it.
And it doesn't really work all that well with an ACOG anyway. Okay, thanks, Yvonne.
But it doesn't need a battery. The battery ones.
I don't like the battery ones because it kicks.
Better,
yeah, it looks cool as shit. Do you see Dim Desert's one with the fucking acro in the middle? Oh, that's good. Hey, I like my ACOGs, man. I fucking.
Yep, that is a good look, and it checks a lot of boxes, man. Especially if you get the 110, the TA 110, because it's the 3.5 with the additional eye relief. Oh,
yeah.
Hey, I know what I'm doing with this acro.
There you go. I might maybe put it on the Elcan. Cheapskate. What's wrong with the gate?
Please.
He's not calling me a cheapskate. That's his name. What's wrong with the Jeep? Gas mileage, and it didn't work. Tech gun at $5. Would you say ammo prices?
The transfer case fucking exploded
mid-trip.
at 5,400 feet elevation on the side of a mountain. We
While
towed
we
it
were
down the mountain behind my Ranger. And the whole time, I think I was radioing you like every 4 seconds, being like, your brakes still work, right? You still have brakes, right? You still got brakes? Oh, no, actually, I guess at the steepest part of the mountain, you just rolled it down.
Yeah, I just under at fucking 20 miles.
And then once it flattened out a little bit, then I towed you all the way back out to the highway. That was a fun day. That was a great.
That was 2 days.
That was 2 days. That was 2 days of that. That's what happened to the fucking Jeep.
And then we fixed it for 2,000, or I fixed it for 1,500, and the linkage sheared off a second time, and I got trapped a second time and got saved by a what's that Toyota that everyone likes for overlanding?
The FJ Cruiser?
No, it's not a Toyota, maybe.
The Nissan Xterra?
That's it. Yep. Nissan Xterra. That's it. Yep. For some reason, I was thinking.
I like that you said that people like for overlanding, and it narrowed it down to like 3 vehicles in my head. I was like, oh, I know all of the overlanding cringe that I've had to sift through on Instagram.
Yep, there we go. So Tech Guns ask, would you say ammo prices have come down as far as they will? We're getting there. I think 5.56 has a little bit to go, but I don't think we're seeing sub 25 cents $1 5.56 in mass with shipping. I think it's probably going to stay above 25 cents. 9mm might come close to 20 cents around, but we're like, the asymptote situation. Like we're at the plateau area.
You're an asymptote jerk.
We're at the flat line. It's getting about as low as it can get. I think 5.56 has a little bit more to go. 9mm pretty fucking close.
I think people are saying this is the post-inflation new normal.
Yeah,
like,
this is.
You shouldn't expect it to go down to pre-inflation levels because of inflation. But yeah,
and we got hit by heavy inflation. Good. Yeah. So thanks Tech Guns for the $5 hairs. Have you Zipperneck $2 says, have you used the EXP 3-4? Yes. Thoughts? Don't like it. I think if you're gonna do a 3- whatever. Well, you should do the 3-1, but the 3-2 works because it gives you something else to reference below it, and then you just use that as references. I don't think they generally
the 3-4 is really optimistic.
It's really busy too. It's incredible. Yeah. Like it just looks like a brick 90% of the time like this. I don't like it. Can it work? Sure, but so can a lot of other things. I think the 3-2 does what most people think, does what they think it's supposed to do. Right? That's what you're going to use it for. The 3-2
you're going to get the 3-4, and then you're going to be like, well, I should get more magnification to make use of this extra.
So you get the 5x
that I've got. So they're going to put the 5x magnifier on it, and you're not going to like it because the 5x magnifier sucks. That's too much.
So here's something to consider. LP or not LPFOs. Red dot magnifiers are first focal plane. And they're pretty big on 1x. So when you zoom it in, it's not as nice as you think it is. The EOTech is the best by far because the dots are itty bitty. Yeah. I don't like the 3-4. Sorry. What are your thoughts on those focus shooting LLC uppers? Hop?
They're always changing, but yeah, if you really
fucking
want
grilled your rifle, did you?
Tried to barbecue that one. It's still intact. Yeah, I would say the cool thing about that is that I don't think he's really focus strip. I don't think he's really trying to make a living off of that. So he's more or less selling stuff at barely over cost. Because I think he knows that his current customer base is small enough to essentially be cool dudes that he knows on YouTube. So
yeah. Is my steel case Wolf/Tula 223 good to go for training? That's it. SCC president $2. Next for the $2, yeah, only for trading. That shit. It's not necessarily that the round per se is unreliable. It's the fact that you're stacking up steel cases on top of each other, which have a much higher coefficient of friction, and you're gonna jam when you're at the top of the magazine. Occasionally, it happens all the time with me. Cody just
suppressed. Extra shit gets dumped back into the magazine, and then they all get dirty, and they're already steel, and then they're dragging on a plastic mag body. And
yeah. So Cody gives us $5, and that's it. Thank you, Cody. I appreciate it. Helps fund the good question, idiot. Helps keep funding piss water.
I ran out of piss water 5 minutes ago.
All right, I'll keep it going. Caleb asked, "Is the CTF2 still good?" We actually answered that in the on the go. Thanks for the $2 hairs. I'm me with $2 says, what's the best optic when wearing a fox mask? That sounds some furry shit. Thanks for the $2. No fox mask.
Maybe he meant Foxhound, like in Metal Gear Solid 5, where they were wearing, I think, like XM40s or something like that. In which case, don't.
Buddy says, help, bring rifle. What's your setup? Something expendable. Because not only will that rifle probably go into evidence, but there's also a very large percentage chance that you're going to throw that rifle into a trash can when you get there and the cops are already there and you need to fucking de-escalate your posture aggressively. So I'd probably bring a PDW. So, Evan, thanks for the $5.
At last a chance to finally get rid of your TP9.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Oh, damn, the fucking thing's in evidence for...
but it had a cool story.
Shit.
It had a cool story. What was the story? I threw it in the back of a Denny's dumpster and they found it.
I pulled up to the scene, grabbed my backpack out of the back, and then was like, never mind. I just
what would you bring? Basically, one of your many rifles, whatever, lying around, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's going to be a whole lot more nuance to the situation. Probably, like how well do I like that friend? But yeah, I throw on a relatively slick carrier, grab a cheap AR.
Yeah, doesn't need to be Gucci'd out. You're not really getting into a real gunfight. Yada yada yada. You need to be ready to fucking throw that thing in a trash can. I'd bring like a Flux Raider or something. Cheapskate Aquatic, $1. Thank you for the $1. That buys Hop half a Bush Light. Mellow Root says EOTech save us. EOTech does not care about saving us, for the record. They don't care. Like, okay, in fairness to EOTech, I got some stats recently. I don't know if I can talk about it, but essentially, night vision sales are the vast majority of sales to the military and LE. Like more, not vast majority 60%, like vast majority closing in on 99 point something or 95-ish percentage, give or take. At least 90%. So the people buying these lasers are not us. So they're going to prioritize what makes them money. It's understandable, but I think everyone was slightly hopeful that EOTech would be based consumerists or based consumer-based company, but no, they're still a military contractor. They're doing what makes sense for them. So EOTech is not going to save us, not anytime soon with the Oogle. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, civilian night vision buying is exploding, but it's still, even post-explosion, we're such a vocal minority. There's like 6 of us on the entire internet, and we won't shut the fuck up about it. So it sounds like everybody wants to buy
4 of those people don't actually own nods. They just look at T-Rex arms.
Yeah, they're going to someday own nods. So then, yeah, like how many, you have like the 6 guys that own night vision, or the 6 guys that talk about night vision, 4 of them own nods, 2 of them are actually in the market for a laser, and 1 of them is going to look at the price when it comes out and be like, I can do without that. Yeah. So they're going to sell 1. That's it. Our conservative estimate is they will sell 1 civilian Ogle in 2.5 years when it comes out.
Cool. Cody, hey, Cody's donating again. I think that makes $11 or $12. $10. Sorry if you've already answered this. Thoughts on running a slick plate carrier with a chest rig over it? For certain scenarios, yes, but generally it fucking sucks.
Yeah, I'd say
you're the chest rig.
Yeah, like.
So I used to do that, by the way. I used to have a Condor chest rig with a Haley Strategic Boy just worn on top. That was my nut and fancy day setup.
Yeah, I guess the question is, do you think that you're wearing the carrier and then scaling up to the chest rig? Because I can't think of a lot of scenarios where I would put on a plate carrier but be like, I don't want any ammo though. Like that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I think the logic.
Or if you're just saying like the idea that you'll own a slick carrier and 1 chest rig, and when you need the chest rig, you wear the chest rig, and when you need the carrier, you put them on both together. I don't know, because it doesn't. Like, there's so little additional cost involved in just tossing 3 mags onto a plate carrier or sticking mags in a cummerbund or whatever. So I don't know. I don't
here's
think
my
it's
thoughts. I do maybe if like there is the concept of right. You conceal the armor, and then when it's go time, you Superman it, and then you put the thing on. But that kind of already got defeated by the vast proliferations of placards that go click, good to go.
That's true. Yeah, just
so I think that makes more
sense. Placard on.
So if you want to run a slick,
if you are concealing a carrier, like a lot of the carriers now have elastic cells in the bund where you can stick a couple extra magazines if if you have pants on like normal grown-up pants, you can put magazines in your pockets. If you're wearing those weird like super like those weird sweatpants that have like a huge bottom and then really skinny legs, you can't put anything in there. But I don't think you should be wearing those because you're a fucking adult.
That was probably one of my favorite comments when we were talking about like preparing a video, where it's just like, hey, I'm thinking about getting a rain jacket for my preparedness thing. Like, what do you have? You're an adult. Do you not own a fucking rain jacket? Like,
what happens when you need to go outside, dude? Do you just like wait or I guess DoorDash? That's what it. Yeah, I just don't go shopping when it rains. I just get DoorDash for an entire season and a half.
I was so angry when you made me fucking do pizza delivery. Plastic guy.
We don't have to have this marital dispute in public, bro.
No, we've already had it once with a very famous YouTuber. That was also the night we got really drunk and stayed up to 1 a.m. until he begged for sweet release.
Yeah.
Plastic guy says, "Is Hop on the lookout for an LP1 LPI?" Oh, that's the EOTech slash. What's the optic you hate?
LCO.
LCO. It's the LCO form factor thing. I'm interested in one. I don't think you care, right?
I'm not at all interested in that. That's not a thing that needs to exist. Yeah. The Romeo 8T has already been completely superseded, in my opinion, by the 4XT Pro. So now it's like, okay, does an optic need to be that big? Sure doesn't. And it's not holographic. And field of view through an optic is not a real thing. So shut the fuck up.
All right, Hop post-cat.
And I'm sure it's very durable.
I think a little bit of the marketing is somewhat ingenuous with it's got a sacrificial fucking surface. I'm like, so does an EOTech.
Like an EOTech, like a Romeo 8T, like a HoloSun 510.
Yeah, like that's absolutely been done before. So like it's cool. I don't view it as negatively, but I generally probably wouldn't buy one. But I'm willing to check one out. Gookfoot. Wow, I'm gonna get canceled. Shit. Hop post-cat.
You can say his username. I just can't.
Oh yeah, I'm allowed to say it. Yeah. Hop post-cat. Talk about Somo gear. I'm the Somo gear guy. I don't know. Cat.
My cat is asleep in the other room, but here's a picture of him I took earlier this afternoon.
Hey, there we go. Look at him. He's so dapper looking.
His eyeballs. It's something like your pet, my pet. Their eyeballs just don't point in the same direction. They just don't like it. It could also be that I always ambush him when he's trying to take a nap, and I like prod him awake.
Yeah, don't you try to wake him up so he does that?
What the fuck? Poor guy. But I mean, he's living here literally rent free, so I feel like I earned a little bit of just pestering the poor guy.
I love all those memes where it's just like they film the dog and the dog lets out like a really depressed. It's like, what are you doing? You have zero responsibilities. You're not allowed to sigh like that in my house. Oh shit! I cut off the guy's name. God damn it! He also gave $20. Let me scroll up. I think it already. Fuck. Shit. Sorry. It looks like Thunder Boilers or something. I can't tell. This guy. Have either of you messed with the FCD PMA? I don't know what that is. Can somebody look that up for me? I currently have one and am testing it. I am used to high mounts, so this is really interesting. Call Nova a good girl. Good girl.
PMA?
FCD PMA.
Forward controls PMA?
Yeah. That's Nova's tail hitting the table after I called.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. I think it sounds like a high mount. FCD
I guess so.
PMA. I'm looking at it.
I'm not... Oh, it's the one that... yeah, I remember now. I remember. It just came to me. No. Yeah, we're not buying that. We don't buy from FCD anymore anyway.
What the fuck is it? I can't open it up.
It's a mount that just puts a red dot to the side of your LPVO or scope or whatever, or ACOG, instead of canted or off to the side. It's just another place to put. I mean, like, there's a company called Valhalla Tactical or Valhalla Systems or whatever the fuck. They're the guys who designed the nipple twister for the HRT light, I think.
Yeah.
And they make a thing where it's like a bidirectional cantable red dot mount. So you could just put a red dot basically anywhere that you wanted to. The fact that the FCD mounts it perfectly sideways, I'm sure soothes a lot of people's OCD. It probably would soothe mine if I was interested. But if you just want to put a red dot in that position, it doesn't have to be fucking straight up and down. You can mount it however you want, and then the Valhalla thing kind of already solves that. And also, we don't buy from FCD anymore.
You're more upset about that than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I wouldn't mind trying one because I do want to try offset mounts just to give it another go. I ran one for 2 years, and that's why I have my opinions I do, but that was a long time ago. Mainly for like, yeah, I don't know why I want to do it, but I kind of want to try it just to say. Aeolian.
You can pretend that you've got like a Lewis gun or something. Not a Lewis gun. Oh my God. The Owens gun with the sights over here and the mag over here and the barrel somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Aeolian at $5. Want to start shooting training with friends this summer. Favorite drills or courses y'all shoot together. Best overall. Things to avoid. Stop. Do a lot of dry fire and shit. So when you go to the range, you're not wasting ammo, dicking up reloads and transitions and weapon manipulations. Like if you go to the range and you're already seriously fucking up consistency on reloads and stuff like that, I'm of the opinion you could fix that shit at home without using ammo. I also think, in the similar vein, doing drills that focus purely on reloads or stuff like that, I think it's wasted ammo.
Yeah, if you want to do like a couple of 1R1s or 2R2s or whatever, like that is just a warm up, cool, get everybody sort of on the same page, make sure everybody's like fresh and ready to go and got like their safety manipulations down. Like I know some people care about this and some people don't. Like I follow the doctrine of like, if when the sights come off the target, the safety goes on. When you're going to reload, the safety goes on. When you're moving, the safety goes on. If you're going to do team movement drills, then you probably should just work out ahead of time. Like, all right, are we all going to just do like muzzle up so we're not like freaking each other out or like doing anything dangerous and stupid, especially if you haven't done a lot of that stuff before. The other thing to do is if you're going to do movement drills where you're like moving from position to position, just shoot way, way less. Like a lot of people will get into position and then shoot half a mag.
Yeah.
And
you only need 2 hits on round to prove that you can, yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're shooting steel, that's way better. Get into position and make 2 hits on steel. And if you can make those 2 hits, okay, you've proven that you can get those 2 hits. So why shoot 15 rounds from one position before moving on? Just save ammo. Save a shitload of ammo by not just shoot less. Mm-hmm. Shoot less. Don't do the 1 alpha drill where you literally go through your entire combat load while walking forward. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. And then, and the other thing to do is I think just don't try to train everything all in one go, like all in the same day or all in the same drill. Have a day where you just go like backpacking or hiking with your buddies, go camping with your buddies, shoot with your buddies. Don't try to make it all happen all at the same time the first time. You know, just like, okay, let's do a range day. Let's go camping. Let's go hiking.
Don't try to be fast.
It can be separate.
That's something we discussed and we want to do a video on. Absolutely. People see how fast people go on the internet and they think they need to shoot that fast and then they will bring their accuracy in on that. No, you can't do that. You need to shoot at the level where you can get hits, and you will learn when you can get hits at certain speed levels, and then it's a game about being dishonest with yourself and your training level at that current time. But thanks, AON, for the $5 and the question. Corn Pops. Y'all great. I've spent 15 grand on NV. I'm so sorry, dude. Why are you giving us money? You need money.
Sounds like a good start.
Awesome. I'm glad we can help you out with night vision addiction. It's truly both the worst and best thing about gun ownership. So thanks for the 20. That's a lot of dull hairs. Appreciate it, man. Mr. Corn Pops. PH Illip. What company could make the best alternative to a Surefire Vampire if they tried?
Anybody? No, nobody can.
I mean,
pretty sure that the Surefire Vampire is patented.
Yeah, Modlite tried, and they made it not great. Like, they're trying to make more complicated lights, basically.
Specifically talking about the Vampire, though.
Yeah, I guess.
As far as from what I understand, the rotating bezel assembly on the Surefire Vampire is still patented for a while or something like that.
Yes, it is, because the TLR one has to do just 2 things in the.
So then you all the other ones, they either have like Enforce and O-Light. They have a center LED that takes full advantage of the reflector lens, and then they have either off-center ones, or they have like one embedded somewhere else, or whatever. So none of them, the IR component cannot take full advantage of the reflector lens. So it's just completely sucks ass.
We also don't need another company to make a Surefire Vampire. It's the only good light they make.
The Vampire's already perfect. Yeah, like the Vampire is a really good fucking light. I don't know how much you can improve it other than just pumping the juice up higher. So like I'm sure at some point they'll make a turbo vampire. But at least like one of the things I love about the vampires is that they've already got a longer focusing housing, so they already have higher candela than regular old school Surefires.
It's legitimately a better dual fuel.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Let's make it a little more.
The JP...
well, don't make it dual fuel, because when Surefire makes something dual fuel, they fucking kill it and it sucks. So just keep it good. Keep it good. The Surefire is good. Don't fuck it up. I still haven't bought all the Surefire.
They're gonna cancel it. Like they're gonna make the turbo version, which is gonna be dual fuel, and you're gonna buy 4 of them to keep forever.
I hope they're not dual fuel. I can't be doing that. And someone asked a question about dual fuel, and we'll get to it.
The JPC cost $7 in Wildlands. Worth it for the virtual fields. I didn't play Wildlands, but I played Ghost Breakpoint, and you can just get it there by finding it. No, you should not spend $7 on
in real life.
You should not spend $7 point blank or full stop on anything in that game. But what the fuck? You gave us $5 to ask if you should spend $7.
Damn it, dude! You could have saved the $5. You would have been most of the way there.
Fuck. Oh shit. Dan Shim just gives us $50. That's it. No, nothing else. Just
holy crap. All right.
Do I need to...
That's a man who either owns all the night vision he's ever going to need or doesn't own night vision and doesn't think he needs it. I don't know which it is, but it's one of those two.
I appreciate it, Dan. That it means a lot when you guys basically fund our degenerative lifestyle. We'll see.
You want to pinch off this loaf and go into the next topic?
We're almost done. We have 3 more. 3 more.
Oh,
Will C says, with $20, thanks, boys. So people are just being generous. So once again, Will C, I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Please leave the live stream up for 24 hours so I can listen to it. Will do. It's for the substars afterwards. Yep. Caleb Lyons, and I'm going to be drunk tonight, so I'm too lazy to do it anyway. So Caleb with $5 says, why is in your opinion the PLXE so good? I'm not a huge fan of the eye relief, but otherwise it's great. That's why it's got the best 1X on the market, and it's first focal plane, and it does really fucking good.
And it's light.
It's very light. It's really good. The only downside is, well, the
TIE Fighter targeting computer reticle on 8X with just like curly cues and shit happening, and then a chevron for no reason, and yeah, like it's annoying, but I wouldn't consider that a deal breaker if you like the other aspects of the scope.
All right, let's move on. Let me double check if I missed anything. Yeah, okay. So there's a bunch of new questions, but we'll save that for the next batch. So start us off on the next topic.
So, Mr. Brassfax, you've been spending a lot of quality time with 300 Blackout lately, I understand.
Too much time. But yes.
I guess the big question is, and I think I know the answer, but is 300 Blackout going to become a caliber in your stable? Is that gun going to stay how it is, and you're going to keep it and have it prepped and have ammo for it and mags and a system, and you're going to allow a very expensive optic stack and night vision laser to just live on that gun so that it's ready?
That's the worst part. It's
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the night vision part. The optics, okay, sure, but it's a $2,000 laser that's just sitting idly on it in the closet right now. It's just sitting.
So without
but
bringing
the answer
your
is
gun
yes.
on screen to get your banned off of YouTube, describe what your current 300 Blackout setup is in brief.
It's an EOTech because night vision performance. It's a magnifier because I'm a simp for magnification, and it's a US night vision DIRV. It's a 9-inch or 10-inch, 9-inch, 9.5-inch. It's a 9-inch, 9-inch 300 Blackout setup, and I view it more as we have different philosophies a tiny bit on 300 Blackout. But yeah, it's sitting
PWS,
in the closet.
Short stroke piston?
All PWSs are long strokes. So, yeah, no, they're long stroke. You pull them out, they go the full length of the gun.
I didn't actually end up shooting that gun.
Whoops.
Oh, well.
Everyone else did.
I mean,
that thing was the fucking village bicycle.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody had a turn, but I don't feel like you're getting rid of it, so it sounds like I'll still have a chance some
Yeah. So I'm going to keep it permanently in my stable. So this is just basically just a summary of my 300 blackout video that is work in progress. It's basically done. I just need to put the footage to it now. But I like 300 blackout, not because of the caliber performance. So that's a big thing I've come to realize in thinking about it. The caliber performance is good. It's like a side grade. It has some things better than 5.56 and some things worse than 5.56. But the cost of the caliber is never, at least at this point, not worth it to me to just use it as a gun, as a replacement for 5.56, like 1-to-1. It's all about the subsonics and the conjunction with supersonics. And in that case, I really like the concept of it because it gives you a fair bit of flexibility, in my opinion. Subs aren't Hollywood quiet, but man, in certain scenarios, they are really fucking quiet. Especially if someone's in a building, especially if there's a lot of shit in between you and the listener. So I'm a fan of subsonic capability, and the fact that I can have subsonic and supersonics is really cool. I think the analogy I use basically, it's like, well, you're going into a building to set up a hide, and you give your point man a 300 blackout loaded with subs, and oh Jesus Christ, there's a bobcat in there. You shoot it, and holy shit, you didn't wake up the entire neighborhood, right? In a shit hit the fan style scenario. There are other scenarios that could also be filled by PCCs because outside of shit hit the fan, you don't really care as much about the rifle performance, but it seems in certain scenarios, people tend to go towards the sound of gunshots and not away. So you can end up in really weird situations where, especially if you have a bunch of people in your neighborhood, right? We've seen a couple of scenarios of that. Imagine if they are way more spicy and way more angry. Defending yourself at the breach of or inside your home might attract more people if you have a supersonic weapon. So a subsonic weapon with a good suppressor might make all the difference in making that problem stop right then and there, potentially. There's a lot of stuff to get into with that, but more or less, I think it's niche. I think most people are going to be fucking themselves over by committing to a $3,000 to $4,000 investment that 300 blackout's going to be, because you need the gun, you need the optic, you need the night vision to really make it come into its own. You need a suppressor that lives near the fucking gun, and then you need to buy about 2,000 to 3,000 rounds of ammo if you want to future-proof yourself from recessions and shit like that. So I think it's really cool. There's really good capabilities there, but you need to. All right, that was my laser speed rundown.
Yeah, exactly. I'll say let's just quickly plug for the upcoming Brass Facts 300 Blackout video, okay, yeah, which I'm sure will go into all this in way better detail.
Yeah.
But what I think is most interesting is that you and I came to the same conclusion of 300 Blackout, which is that, similar conclusions. Neither of us is going all in on subsonics. We're not treating this as a sub gun, which is like when you shoot subsonics out of a 300 Blackout, you're getting pistol caliber ballistics. Well, better exterior ballistics, whatever, similar terminal ballistics. But you're basically using it as a sub gun replacement. When you go supersonic, it's a different story. And I think the appeal to both of us was that the supersonic performance is pretty good out of an incredibly short barreled gun, and the subsonics is an option you reserve for specific scenarios. Where we differ maybe a little bit is that the thing that most appeals to me about the 300 Blackout is very, very short gun for like maneuvering in brush or like dense forests, because I have those. Being able to use a supersonic cartridge with more bullet weight than you can even possibly get out of a 5.56. And it still does okay suppressed. And then I retain the option for subsonics because I always will have the option to drop a mag and run subsonics. But the gun is set up to shoot supers, zeroed for supers, configured in a way
both of us, I think, are zeroed for supers, to give you an idea of how it's going. Like the way I have it configured is there's a subsonic mag in the gun, and then supersonics are the reloads. Like that's the philosophy there. And when you're done with subs...
And I had my perfect optic, and now I don't. My 300 Blackout gun's fully out of commission because I broke my CTF1. I broke my my rare vintage discontinued limited edition capped turret Vortex PSD 1-4, and they can't replace it because they don't exist anymore. So my 300 Blackout gun has
like that, though, so
no laser optic. I don't know what to do with the thing now, but I want to get it back up and running because I do like it, and I did think that the CTF1 was the perfect light laser combo to drop on that thing, but oh man, that gun's led a hard life. But yeah, that's my perspective is close in brush defeat capabilities improved supersonic performance out of an incredibly short barrel with suppressor versus a 7.5. I have an 8-inch barrel 300 blackout gun.
So it's worth noting our guns are basically the same.
Tragedy.
Yeah, it's worth noting our guns look way different in size, but they're actually roughly the same. Mine's a 9-inch, yours is an 8-inch. It's about the same.
The question
so it's worth
is,
noting. Does an inch matter? Who knows? It doesn't matter. We'll never put it.
The question is if I'm going to rebuild it, because about my restless AR syndrome. I kind of want to rebarrel it with an 8.3 Hansen barrel, because 0.3 inches is going to make all the difference in the world. Apparently, I don't know why that's in my stupid brain. Or go for a 10.3, because this does seem like the other possible use of 300 blackout is making the Mark 18 concept a little less horrifying. I don't know. Okay,
so yeah, I do discuss that. Basically, I come to the conclusion it's not worth the ammo prices. If you have the money, then it starts becoming like if 300 blackout was the same cost or within 5 cents, 10 cents around a 5.56, okay, now we're talking. It's still basically an AK in my opinion, and 5.56 still does better where it's more important up close. That I'd rather just run 5.56, and then the other side of the coin is at 60 cents a round, which is conservative. It's usually more. You should just go buy Mark 262 or duty loads or whatever, and suddenly make your really shitty anemic 5.56 round out of a 10-inch barrel suddenly actually not be all that bad at all. So that's the big thing. Actually, so a question, I've seen this like 4 times now. We are talking right now, 300 blackout is not like 5.56. With 5.56, as the barrel length goes down, performance goes down semi-linearly. 300 blackout is different. There are several configurations that drastically change how the gun handles. You can have a unsuppressed, really short boy that attempts to make essentially what the TP9 is, but with more terminal performance, right? So you can run a 300 blackout unsuppressed and it's not completely pointless. You can run a medium-sized gun like myself and Hop, which is a fighting rifle analog for the lack of a better term, and that's kind of the middle ground version. You can make it dummy quiet with a bolt gun, with a longer barrel. I see fucking 16-inch hunting 300 blackouts with suppressors with thermals on it for pigs, right? So there's a lot of ways to skin the 300 blackout cat. Thus far, we've mainly talked about like quote-unquote the fighting rifle one, where you suppress in the barrels, Mark 18 sized, give or take a couple inches.
There's obviously some appeal to the 7.5-inch AR. Like there's the DPMS Kitty Cat or the Olympic Arms version.
You like that, right?
Oh yeah. And then until the brace stuff started looming on the horizon, Smith & Wesson, I'm pretty sure, made a 7.5 AR. Springfield made a 7.5 AR. Like all these in 5.56. People are interested in these for a lot of reasons, most of which I think is just like because they're fun. Fireballs are cool. Like, oh my god, I got slow motion on my iPhone. But people are interested in a gun that short because it is incredibly handy and cool, and you can stick it in backpacks and you can break it down into like something that's narrower than your shoulders are, right? Like separated upper and lower. Take that same thing, put it in 300 blackout supers, and all of a sudden you actually have an effective caliber again, because 5.56 out of a 7.5-inch barrel retains its lethality with cavitation out to like 27 yards, and you can shoot steel with it, and it's like a hilarious joke. But I don't know, that's just one way to think about 300 blackout. Like that's why I think it's a cool cartridge, because of all the, and we're gonna have to talk about this some other time, but of all the weird like specialist chamberings for ARs and other things, 300 blackout's the one that has the widest appeal, because it can do so much stuff. And also maybe because of that wide appeal, or maybe just because the name is cool, it caught on well enough that it's one of the more affordable available. It comes in a bunch of different loads. The guns are easy to build. The parts are available. Like 300 blackout is easiest to make a case for versus 6.5 Grendel, 6 ARC, 6.8 SPC, 224 Valk, 2545 Sharps, 300 Hammer.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of all of these cartridges because there's only so much you can do with physics. Yes, they're better, Legend. But fucking, it's tough.
Yeah, just the pure argument, like with 6.5 Grendel or 6 ARC or 6.8 SPC, where you're like, technically it's better than 5.56. You're like, technically it doesn't matter. 300 Blackout is not technically better than 5.56. It's just a different cartridge that does different stuff. And that's what makes it.
Yeah, it's
6.8 SPC is just like, if you designed 5.56 right now, would you make 5.56 or would you make 6.8? or would you make 6 arc, whatever. Like, it's just like another way to do the same thing. 300 blackout is not the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You can try, but yeah. Anyway,
I think we hit that one up
300
pretty
blackout.
good, pretty fast.
What a good cartridge 300 blackout.
It's so depressing.
Someone's been asking about 8.6 blackout, and that one's a different story altogether.
See, I'm not. We're gonna have a discussion. We almost did it today about like specialty cartridges, like 6.8, fucking 458 SOCOM.
Oh yeah.
That's just not my thing. Like, if I'm gonna commit to a cartridge, I better have a box in the other room that has several thousand rounds of that ammunition, not just for preparedness plans, but because I obviously want to shoot the fucking gun, and I don't want to shoot the gun when the ammo spikes to $4 a round. So I want my reserve that I can get, out of it, and I don't want to stack stuff like 6mm arc, for example. Yeah. Also, there's just like people ignore this, and this is a Hop discussion, so I'll pass it off to him. But people just like forget that how good the AR-15 is and the magazines with it and the reliability that we've all worked out, and 300 blackout has benefited pretty well from that. But holy shit, all of these cartridges seem like a goddamn nightmare to set up and get reliable. I mean, you can speak to this far better than I, but
yeah, and also finding parts too. I mean, like there's, on Instagram, there's a lot of guys that are super stoked about 6 arc, and people will ask them, "Hey, what's a good barrel for 6 arc?" And they're expecting to hear like, "Oh, get the ballistic advantage one," or "Oh, you should get Faxon," or whatever. And the answer that they get is, "Well, I know a guy, and if you go down to the corner of this street and this street on Thursdays after 9 p.m. and you knock on the door 3 times, pause, 2 times, pause, 3 more times, someone will ask who it is. You give him the secret code word, which is iron and copper, and then he will open the door and take you back into the back room. And there you can place an order for a 6mm arc barrel. And it will cost you $450, and there is a 12-month lead time. But trust me, bro, they shoot lights out accurate. Like, that kind of shit makes me fucking sick to my stomach. Just, goddamn. If 6 arc was actually that good, you wouldn't need to do this shit. So, anyway, Mr. Recce, love you, bro, but 6 arc isn't happening, dude.
All right, I think that answers.
No offense.
Or all the offense. I think we answered the 300 blackout thing. I think it's a really good cartridge. I think you just need to be careful not to attribute mythical properties to the fucking thing. It's slightly better 7.62x3.9 that happens to go subsonic.
And if you're like a paper punch and range nerd, then yeah, then these things are going to be like the best hobby you've ever had, because you can do all your hand loads and you can make spreadsheets and stuff, and you can just outshoot everybody in the world, because 6mm cartridges have like insane air defeating. They go into a different dimension, so they're fucking completely impervious to wind drift and all this shit. Like, yeah, that's cool, but that's not what either of us do. We are not PRS guys. We are not.
I buy my ammo.
Competition dudes. We shoot cheap ammo really fast.
Don't make fun of my spreadsheets. Dude, Hop's seen my spreadsheets. I love me some fucking spreadsheets. But not in this scenario. All right, it looks like you need a new beer. I'll start blasting through the
PowerPoint. Spreadsheet. Yeah, I'm a PowerPoint guy. You're a spreadsheet guy.
Yin and yang. But yeah, we still are.
I like Excel. I mean, Excel 97, there was a code you could type in and it would play a little flight simulator game. That was really cool. But other than that, I haven't had a lot of use for Excel lately. Anyway, keep the good people entertained.
All right. I'm going to start blasting through these questions. There's a lot of questions, so I want to keep the rate of the thing going. Addison Kempf, $5 in the green text. With enough practice, how close can a PVS-14 come to duels? Almost actually the same. It's not that hard. Spend tens of hours, 20 hours, 30 hours under nods. You will find that in some scenarios, PVS-14s are extremely beneficial to have over duels, and there's a reason why people like having duels that can do this, so you can free one of your eyeballs. It's not that bad. Scenarios where you will have issues with PVS-14s over duels, when it is really fucking pitch black, and you don't have too much experience with it, and you're doing a lot of this because you can't actually see all that much with your nods. Having it over 2 eyes does, I don't know if it's an illusion or something, but it does make life a lot easier. So, thanks, Addison. Hey, Corn Pops is back. Is the panel bridge worth messing around with? I started with LS14 and now I'm running a PVS-31 that I recently coupled with Jerry Rig. More FOV would be nice though. it's worth seeing if you can try checking it out, or if you have a PVS 14 and your 31s, rotate it around so you can do this and then rotate it out. When you have splined out night vision like this, you're gonna see like crescent moon shapes of where they meld, right? Because it's not perfect. And if that pisses you off in practice, it's not gonna work. It's gonna piss you off. I don't care. I just do, and it works out just fine for me. Also, the RVB, I believe it's called RVB 58. Check the video on my channel. I think in a lot of ways, for most people, they're going to enjoy that more than the panel bridge, because it takes a lot of time to get the panel bridge to the point where you can just grab it and go bloop and put it in the right spot. Sometimes it's nice to just take the RVB 58, which is fixed field of view, and just. But Hop, you can speak to it. You tried out the panel bridge. What were your thoughts? Because
I've tried both of them, and I haven't spent a lot of time on them. And maybe it is just something that you just get accustomed to. But every time I've tried panning night vision, I find it really difficult to look past the overlap. Like, I'm very conscious of it. And part of that is that I'm borrowing other people's setups. And so, like, that's a big thing to think about when you're just talking about, like, night vision in general. If you're, like, wearing a PVS 14 and it's giving you a headache, it is not adjusted right. And if someone just hands you their nod and you just put it on your face and try to walk around with it, it's probably not adjusted right for your face. So that, I'm sure that's something to do with it. Every time I've borrowed panos from Brock, I've been like, I don't really like this. Doesn't feel good. I feel like I'm acutely aware of the crescent overlap shape.
It's worth noting,
maybe if
you've never really
maybe if I force myself to do it for a night.
Yeah, you never really used it. You like hang out with it for 10 minutes and you're like, fuck it, and then that's about it, right?
Yeah, I get pretty frustrated pretty fast with it. I get pretty frustrated with everything pretty quickly. I'm not a patient person, so
I know.
Yeah, I think I basically just need to, like, sometime I'll hang out with Mr. Brassy Factoids, and he'll just steal my nod and then leave me with no option but to use a pano, and then maybe we'll see.
The cameraman will hold you down and we'll fucking take your dovetail off and
crab it, and like the oh my god, what the fuck is that? The orange movie. Why can I not think of what it's called? Clockwork Orange. There we go. Yeah, okay. Clockwork Orange. Not you guys are gonna like pry my eyes open and tape them open and then just cram some panos into my face. Yeah, that'll happen.
So
that's what it's gonna take at this point.
Fuck. I think maybe you'll like it, but who knows? Your eyes are also fucked up. Does a bright red dot sight? And actually, thank you for the redonate. I know that's your second one there, so I appreciate it, and thanks a lot.
Just
Nate,
do 99 cents next time, so that way you can ask like 5 questions for the same.
Yeah, you can get a lot more bang for your buck. Nate Y Sky for $2. Does a red dot sight damage your night vision? Only if you try, but in general usage, no, never. Even if it's fucking cranked through the roof.
Yeah, you would have to spend a lot of time looking through it. Because it's also pretty.
It's gonna leave like burn marks on it if you crank it all the way.
You can see how big this. You can see how big this projection is on my eyeball. Like that's a pretty diffuse light source.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a video on YouTube of some like European dudes who took a PVS 14 with a Gen 2 tube and they just brutalized the shit out of it to see how much it could actually take, and it's way more than you think. And for like a unfilmed high-end Gen 3. It will be more susceptible to damage, but still, yeah. It's not like you're gonna be like, raise the gun. Oh shit, I forgot to put it on night vision mode. I've destroyed my tube. No, you'd be like, oh, that's too bright, and you'd lower it again, and nothing would happen. Even if for some reason you're like, well, it's too bright, but I got to use it for a while, and then you shot for a while, and then you lowered it again, you'd be fine. If you just raised it up, you're like, oh, it's too bright, and then you immediately had a stroke, and you were frozen in that position for 38 hours, yeah, that'd probably be bad. I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, so thanks for the $2. This thing that looks like a Fumo. No, never mind. That's not a Fumo. Goop Lover, $2. Just donating $2. Cool. Thanks for the $2. Could have combined with
Goop Lover and the Fumos. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you could have combined that $2 earlier with the Wildlands guy and got him the JPC in game.
Yeah, you guys could have gone in together on a virtual JPC.
I don't know if that's
isn't even worth $7 in real life.
Nate Y Sky, $2. Perspective of magnified behind 1x prism scope. It works. Yeah, it works. You're going to be losing light and it's probably going to suck a little bit in certain scenarios, but it works. I tried it. It's not a big deal. Yeah. It's an LPVO essentially. So thanks for the $2, Nate. Right? Have you ever fucked with that? You don't even fuck with 1X prisms, right?
I did for a bit. I put one on the Era EPC9 because it destroyed one of my Holosuns.
You did the old one though, the bigger one, right?
No, I did the SLX 1X Micro.
Oh shit!
The Gemini 9mm. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good. Put that in the LPVO, please.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. We talked about adjusting night vision to your specific eye. That's one of the big problems with a prism or an LPVO optic is like it's not that that's ever like a really plausible scenario, but if you hand somebody your rifle with your adjusted optic on it, or if you borrow somebody else's rifle, you're like, I'd like to get a feel for this LPVO, and you grab somebody else's rifle and shoot it, you might be like, oh, this doesn't work for me. Probably because it's not adjusted to you. Same problem. I kept noticing that. I would be like, man, this fucking SLX 1X is really damn good. And I hand it to somebody and they should be like, that's weird. I got to focus weird. It doesn't look good in my eyes. Like, well, you got to set the diopter for
Generally, that means one of you needs to go to
seeing.
the eye doctor. Because
no, it's way worse than that. Like, I mean, I'm corrected to 20/20. I hand it to people with 20/20. It's
but a lot of people don't realize they're probably not 20/20. Yeah, but you're probably right.
Have you ever met anybody who uses the scope with the diopter twisted all the way in?
No, I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, those people are.
I think that's for when I take out my contact lenses and need to apply a prescription to my scope. I think people have actually mentioned that with night vision. Like a lot of people that are going to do a night ops, they're like, fuck it. I'm not putting my glasses on. I'm just going to prescription my nods to my eyes. Which is, why not? Yeah.
That's how contacts or glasses work. They have diopters, man. So it's all the same shit at the end of the day.
Shit, yeah. So thanks for the doll hairs. James Collins with $5. Hop, any chance you'll check out Mod Light now that they are moving to dual fuel only heads?
No. Dual fuel is worse. Worse. They were already bad, now they're worse.
Most Mod Light heads were dual fuel already, were they not?
No, because they had the legacy heads, which they recently introduced. I mean, it was a year ago, but that was their new thing, was that those were for dual fuel bodies. So I don't think the originals were. I think the originals were 18650 or 18350 only. But I don't know. I'm not the person who keeps up on rechargeable battery technology because I think it's a waste of metal.
Rare earth
3D metals. Printing is a waste of plastic. Rechargeable batteries are a waste of metal.
Billet is a waste of
I have some
receivers.
Weird biases.
He's honest about it.
Yeah. I like to simplify things to these really pithy sound bites that I stick to, even though they don't make any sense.
They really fuck you over, yeah. So thanks for the $5, James. You've triggered Hop's rechargeable autism. Mellow Root, $10. I play. This one's for the homeboys in chat. What did FCD do? I paid good money for this answer. Fuck.
Boomer's gonna boom, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Boomer's gonna boom.
I'll explain a very simplified version. One of their products was not working quite as intended in combination. I messaged the owner of the rifle. The owner of the rifle messaged FCD. SCD misconstrued exactly what happened and kind of got upset about it, but it's all resolved now. I think that's a very favorable version for FCD. But thanks for the $10. Sorry it wasn't spicy. You could probably just ask in the Discord and instantly figure it out.
Yeah, you'll find it out in there. But some companies don't like to be criticized, and other companies take it a step further, and they don't even like the implication of criticism. Neither of those is a good behavior to have when you're a company. Like, you want people to evaluate and give you feedback on your products or whatever. If you're just like, well, fuck you, man. You said my product sucks. I hate you. Like, okay, that's understandable, but not a great attitude to have as a business owner. If you're like, I think you think my product sucks and I hate you. You're like, hey, man, nobody even said that. Now you sound like a fucking sociopath. So delete your Twitter. It doesn't help that
and
go back to the drawing board.
Is really in group out group.
Yeah, if you ever paid $150 for a dust cover with a dimple on it, or a battery cap for a T2,
here comes the hop coat. Say it. Kill yourself. Say it.
You're not allowed to say that on YouTube.
Oh, you're not? I mean, it's my channel. You're gonna fuck over.
I'm quite certain you're not allowed to encourage people to commit suicide on YouTube. I'm pretty sure there's a rule about that.
Oh shit! I mean, it's my channel.
I mean, all right. Don't get me wrong. It would be a hell of a carbon offset. I'm just saying, don't do it.
All right, thanks for the $10. Sorry, go on the Discord if you want the deets in full. Nox Spectre, $5 for services rendered. Thank you much. I appreciate it. I don't know why this was supposed to be a bow, and then I did this.
Services did you render to him? It's okay. We can talk about it later.
Yeah. Paul Wirtz here? Oh, Paul was here. Spelled weird.
Hey, it's Paul.
Hey, Paul. I don't know you. 300 Blackout is neat, but why 8.6 Blackout gay? I think we really touched on it, right? This is more
the short version. I think is that because the twist rates that they were all excited about. The whole point of 8.6 Blackout is that they twist so fast that it does more damage somehow. Which I don't know.
That seems like something Borderlands would have.
I'm like, I can believe that could work. I'm not a fucking scientist.
Does it increase like bleed damage or something? Right, you get a ticking bleed.
No, it's like because the bullet is like this big, but if the bullet is spiraling around like this, then it digs a bigger hole. That's my interpretation.
Is that I assume it's just more likely to fragment when it comes into contact with something and destabilize.
No, it's rotational energy. It's the same theory as that the polycase inceptor shit, where they would do those fluted nose bullets, and they said because when the bullet hits, the flutes distribute the energy in a radial pattern, and it creates more permanent stretch cavity than a flat nose bullet or a JHP. No one ever proved that was true. I think they just postulated it a bunch of times. But it's an interesting idea, and I'm sure it could very well be true. I don't know. I think the problem with 8.6 Blackout is that in order to get that rotational energy, you need a crazy fast twist rate, and then the twist rate will cause your bullet to explode and destroy your suppressor unless you use very expensive monolithic bullets, and they're very expensive because they're so big and monolithic. And so then it just becomes like it becomes a toy caliber. It's like for people who are either shooting pigs and they want the pig to explode, but
for
they
their
also
thermal
want the gunshot
footage
to
where
be
they
inaudible.
see the chunks
Yeah.
come off.
So it's just like, and then the pig goes, and they're like, "That's fucking sick, dude." So okay, cool. Like that's a way to shoot pigs. Or yeah, I don't know, just like the nerds who were like, it's technically really powerful even though it's really slow. It could all very well be true. There's a great video out there of somebody shooting I think a deer with like a 458 SOCOM ridiculously heavy bullet. I think I sent that to you. It's like you can see the bullet go like 6 feet.
Oh yeah,
it goes off the top of the screen, it comes back down off the top of the screen, hits the deer, and the deer like ragdolls off into infinity, and you're like, God damn.
Yeah, 458,
damn.
right?
And that's that was 458, and
that's a goddamn howitzer.
Even heavier. Yeah, I'm pretty sure 8.6 Blackout loads can be even heavier than that. So it's sort of like, that's it. That's what 8.6 Blackout is for.
It's for that footage.
Going, God damn! What the fuck?
It's for.
Did you shoot it with?
It's for FPS Rush if he was still around.
It's like that video of the guy shooting a 50 cal through a deer's eyeballs, and then thinking like, I think I missed it by 2 inches, but the vacuum sucked its whole brains out of its side of its head. You're like, that didn't happen. There's no way that fucking happened. But it doesn't matter because the video's on YouTube forever. People watch it and go, fuck. 8.6 Blackout.
It sounds cooler than 300 Blackout. For some reason, 8.6 sounds.
No, 300 is a great number.
Okay,
well, it was back when 300 Blackout came out because of the movie 300.
Anyway,
8.6. I don't know. Think of like 277. 277 Fury. Sounds fucking really cool, right? Because 277 is a cool number. Fury's a cool word.
But I don't know. 300 Blackout sounds better. It's a bigger number. And
yeah, that's true. But 6.8 SPC is 277 caliber, I think, or uses 277 projectiles. If they had called that 277 something, not Fury necessarily, but like 277 Vengeance, I think 6.8 SPC would have done way better because 6.8 SPC, you're like, I can't tell if that's like a really old, like post-Civil War caliber or if it's like some weird hand-load nerd shit that nobody gives a shit about. You're like, 6.8 SPC, I don't really care. But if they called it 277 Vengeance, you'd be like, that's some hot shit. Spicy.
Twin Arrow Survival 2.0, $5. Just a simple donation. Thank you. John, I can't read this comment because it's got a dog's name in it and she will become conscious again. I'll go read it later.
I already said the word dog, though.
Yeah, that's true. $10, John Silva, simping for Nova.
Epic. She's worth it.
Hello. So thank you. I will pet the dog for the next 10 minutes for those $10. Here, I'll give you a question. I want to check something out. Will 6.6 mil arc take off? You kind of got that one, so just blast through that one real quick from Yandles.
I don't know. I think the difficulty. I mean, it's just ever so slightly better than 6.5 Grendel. It uses the same mags, the same bolts. It's just a skinnier projectile with a higher BC, I guess, is the whole gimmick. And so if you really want that type of performance, 6.5 falls into the same performance envelope. So really you're splitting hairs. Like, you can make a really strong case for 6.5 over 5.56 because it definitely has, heavier bullets going faster. But then when you say, okay, but now 6 arc versus 6.5, in order for 6 arc to replace 6.5, it would have to be, I think, better than it actually is. And the fact that there are quite a lot of companies that will make you a 6.5 and not many companies that'll make you a 6 arc. And the fact that the loads are more expensive and harder to find. 6.5 is already hard enough to find. So I don't know. I don't see 6 arc as being so much better that everybody's going to ditch 6.5. It just seems like another one of those kind of flash in the pans, like 224 Valk, where you're like, technically this is a good caliber. And like I said earlier, technically it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Cool. That's that. Back to the top. Brass, I know you love the Elcam, but do you run a 12 o'clock for NV? Yes. RMR, because I have an RMR. They're probably one of the worst ones for passive aiming nowadays. No, sorry. That's completely wrong. It's good for NV. It's got good settings. I don't like the warp on the RMR. But I have an RMR, so I put it on top of one of my Elcans, because that gun is a generalist rifle, and yes, it's for passive performance, because What the fuck are you... What? I was reading... What are the...
Just the casual, just be like, I just put it on one of my Elcans. Not both.
Yes. It's quite... So, thanks, Allison.
Well, these are Cubans. I brought them back from my last trip.
I literally have an Elcan as a paperweight.
The G5 said it was okay.
In the room we were staying in, there's an Elcan that is a paperweight, and I kept, putting on your pillow and stuff like that. Because that rifle doesn't have a thing.
Did I end up with that PWS hat?
I don't know. Yeah, who got the PWS hat? I kept trying to get rid of it. It's probably in the bottom of your bag.
Cram it into my backpack.
Yeah. Well, I took something out and put it underneath it.
God damn it.
Chinese mass production. Hey, fellow.
Hey, next person who buys something from me on Discord gets a PWS hat.
Nice. Question is, for $2, do we hate 11.5 5.56 now? No, that's probably my favorite. That's my favorite.
That's the only thing we all like. It's the only thing everybody likes universally.
Keep the goatee. Who's got the goatee?
Suck.
I just shaved. That's not a goatee. But thank you,
Have
Chinese.
you had a goatee before?
Never.
Did you have more beard at some point?
Yeah, I shaved yesterday.
Okay, as long as you have, whatever. I can't keep track. I try not to look directly at your face, but as long as you keep some facial hair, it's fine. If you get rid of it, all of it.
Did you like the footage in one of the videos where I completely shaved?
Yeah, that was messed up.
The Discord was mocking me for weeks.
Yeah, flashbacks to when I was 6 years old and my dad shaved for the first time in my life, and I was like, "Who are you?" I'm not getting in the car with you, stranger. I'm gonna walk home. Thank you very much. And then I walked home and he was still there. I was like, God damn it.
That didn't work well. LH556. Not out yet, but Zebul posted pricings on their website for an IR laser with an LED illuminator for $1,000. Not only does that not hurt,
no, they did not.
I checked.
God damn it.
I checked. It's not. It's been there for quite some time, and they got rid of it.
You're not supposed to be able to find it.
You can still find it. I have the bookmark link in it. It'll take you there, but it's a unaccessible link, and it's dead.
Yeah.
The guy commented. The guy who runs the company commented in my DMs. Or not my DMs, my fucking YouTube chat, and I also talked to him on Instagram. And
they posted it on Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
they said delayed indefinitely is the current status of the Z-Bolt ACAL. They didn't do a perfect job of purging their website. So if you just go to their website, you can't find the info page. You can't find the product listing, but you can still find it cached on on Google. So yeah, they deleted the links to it, but they didn't delete the page, and so it's still easy to find and get excited about if you know what you're looking for. If you just went to their webpage, you'd never find the ACAL. I think they took it all off the homepage and everything.
All right. Two more questions.
It's
done.
If it came out, it would be great. I mean, it would basically just be a better D2.
It'd probably suffer from a lot of the problems of the D2. Just wait. Size.
But minus 4 ounces, and that would
actually that's a lot.
D2 weighed
okay.
4 ounces less. Yeah, if
no,
the
then
D2
that's just
weighed 4
9.2.
ounces less.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, so it's
the
perfect.
ACAL, yeah, it would have been perfect. If they can make it happen, it'll still be incredibly competitive if they can hit the price point they said.
Except no one buys night vision, so it doesn't matter. Like they'll go bankrupt anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah, like we talked about, like the 6 guys.
Yeah.
I'm the one guy who'll buy that ACAL. So if they do it for me,
see, I won't like. I'll ask for a review copy, so I'm like a negative on that. So I cancel out the one you buy.
You cancel out my one purchase. So that's why they're not doing it, because they're like, well, we would sell one to Hop, but then we'd have to give one to Brass Facts, and no, we wouldn't.
Yeah, they have to apologize to me after I bought their light. Riley Shepard, $2. Last 2 questions. Simped hard, got a 16 CAC, and ATACR, big pour. Yeah, you would be a big pour after that. That's more expensive than night vision. Any comments? Why'd you give me $2? You have no money left.
That was the last $2 in the bank.
Yep.
Mike's like, well, whatever. I'm not making rent with this. I might as well piss it away on some losers on YouTube. Yeah, ATACR. Oops.
I don't like
the ATACR's like the Wilcox G24. At some point, everyone's going to buy one and be like, whoa, that was a mistake.
The Wilcox, like the night vision mount?
Yeah, it's like a rite of passage for night vision is buying a Wilcox G24 and realizing it either doesn't work or it's worse than a Rhino.
I need to try. Okay, so Ryan is going to pin us both to the ground. And first we'll strap... Hello! We'll strap the panel bridge to your face, and we'll strap a Rhino to me. Because I have 2 G24s.
I'm a little surprised you can make them work running a bump helmet, because that's the most common issue. Is like the G24 works great on a ballistic, because ballistics come all the way down to the fucking like bridge of your nose. But bump helmets, they're like, fuck it. It doesn't matter if you get shot here, or here with a bump on.
You're all a vegetable regardless.
So they just go ahead and they just cut it way high up, and so then you get a G24, and they don't have nearly as much traverse as a Rhino 2. So a lot of guys will buy a G24, be like, I can't get it all the way over my eye, and then sell it and buy a Rhino.
Okay, I want to try yours, see it, because there is issue. I do max out the full. I
think I have mine somewhere, but I'm actually using a Naruto's Lowstow now because of the fact that instead of flipping all the way up onto the top like a Rhino, it just goes right in front of your forehead. Because I was using non-articulating binos, so I have it somewhere. But yeah, you play with it. It's bigger. It doesn't feel as nice, but it does have a huge adjustment range, which I think is useful for people who are wearing different sizes of helmets or ballistic versus bump. Or maybe if you bought the wrong size helmet and it sits a little weird on your head, or you fall in between sizes. There's a lot of reasons why people buy G24s and then end up selling them.
Yeah, I don't mind mine. Last question before we move on to the final topic. The Hiltonator with $5 in the green text. Where do you see PDWs going if we comply with the brace rule? That's a question right there for starters, if we're complying. But size up and give up the bag space, or size down and train push-pull? I think the answer is probably at that point, make it a rifle or just use your pistol. I don't think the concept really works otherwise.
The compliance version of that is that, yeah, people go ahead and get their free quote-unquote tax stamp, and then they do that trick where I don't know if that even still works. At the beginning of the year, you just say, I'm going to be traveling to all 50 states this year, all year long, and you let the ATF know. I don't know if that actually works. Yeah, but that's one of those classic things of like, because you can't go interstate with an SBR without notifying the ATF. But apparently you can just tell them that you're going to be traveling for a long time to a lot of states and get away with it to some extent.
Yeah, because we're all good citizens and we would never break the law. What is going to happen is you're going to get rid of it. You're going to sell your Flux for $4,000 in tax swap. No, you're going to get rid of it, or you're going to SBR it, or you're just going to use a handgun. Because by that point, when you're doing all this extra bullshit and you don't have a stabilization system, no point. No point. Okay, final topic. This is your topic.
You might be able to figure out, you can just like break down a...
Don't tell me we're going to cheek it. Don't tell me we're going to do push-pull. Just use a handgun at that point.
Yeah, we don't cheek pistol because we're not cringe lord, and then the words that I want to say after that word I can't say because we're on YouTube. But yeah, we're not those people. But you could just take the upper and the lower apart, and then they go whoop, and they kind of nest together in a really nice way, and you can stick them in a backpack. And it's not awesome, but it's probably preferable to cheek pistol or just going with a pistol only and just hoping for the best, I guess.
Yeah. Why is there a comment that just says Hop's face?
It's total fucking chaos because that's the face I make, my own face, all the time. When you say something, you probably don't even notice because you're so focused on like reading chat or doing something else. But anytime you say something really weird,
so you're constantly making emotions.
Oh yeah, I'm making faces all the time.
Apparently we missed one. Check my donation.
That was a stroke, dude.
Is 6.5 Creedmoor worth the money? That's a you question.
Probably. I think the problem with 308 is people tend to overestimate how well 308 does and then underestimate how much it costs. Because, like, good 308 is so expensive that it's sort of like, all right, well, now you might as well just shell out for 6.5 or something. So, if you just compare, loads of 6.5 Creedmoor to M80 ball 308, you're going to be like, damn, 6.5 Creedmoor is really expensive. But if you compare it to even just M118LR or something else, you're going to be like, okay, the price is pretty comparable.
It's about $1,
and 6.5 Creed is, approximately. I don't know what I paid for M118LR. It was IMI Razor Core. I bought it in a fairly decent amount, probably like $120 a round or something. And 6.5 Creedmoor is more than that probably for the decent stuff. But yeah, it's like, okay, well, you know what? 6.5 Creedmoor is probably way better ballistically than 308, even high-end 308 loads versus standard 6.5 Creed. I think the concern that you have, that most people probably have, is that if you're going to put it in a battle rifle, you're going to burn out the barrel. But again, my answer to that is like our answer to the guy talking about training. Just don't shoot so much. Just shoot less. Don't be like going out to the range and be like, well, I got a battle rifle. You know what that means? And then do a 1 alpha drill where you dump all your mags and walk forward.
Do a Krogs and bump fire it into...
Oh, no. I burned my barrel out in 0.4 seconds. But man, those juicy splits. Yeah, just don't do that. I don't know. Shoot less.
All right, final topic. You mentioned battle rifle. Let's roll into it. You like that?
That was smooth. That was pro.
Took 1.5.
Joe Rogan. Yeah. Joe Rogan, eat your heart out. Looking at the new podcast host goat over here. Anyway, yeah, battle rifles. So, I don't know why this. I mean, you're about to get into 308. I've come off a series of reviews of 308 rifles, and for whatever reason, they all seem to be fucking battle. No, that's the only rifle I'm ever going to keep.
It's the only thing you've ever loved.
Yeah, it's the only rifle that ever made me happy. For whatever reason, all the 308s that I've done. So Tread, which I bought, the Springfield St. Victor 308, which I reviewed, the Ruger S-FAR, which I reviewed, and I'm waiting to get a fixed version so I can review it again, but like working this time. That'd be nice. Is there something else that I've fucking forgot? I don't know. For some reason, battle rifles seem to be popular, and I don't know if it's just because they're cool or if people are reacting to the military's adoption of a space-age battle rifle or whatever. But as much as we thought the battle rifle concept was totally fucking dead in the 50s, it seems like it's sort of stubbornly clinging to life. When you put together your 308, you are not necessarily focusing on battle rifle. You're more going...
I mean, I'll probably dabble in battle rifle just to explore the concept. But it's not something
I think your objective is more like a nut and fancy sapper, right?
Yeah, like a 5.56 SPR in...
Heavy SPR.
Yeah.
Heavier SPR.
So, but the emphasis, like heavy seems... So I kind of put it into 3 categories. It's the battle rifle, which is a fighting rifle, essentially, that has a bigger caliber. Then there's
battle rifle is a 308 GPR.
Yeah.
It's going to have a light, probably a laser, probably
I will equip it exactly the same way I equip all my normal rifles, and I will suffer from the weight.
Elcan D-ball suppressor.
Yeah. It's a Mark 17. It's a Scar H with shit on it.
The question, I guess, is that a real thing? Does that make any sense?
Well, let's double back. I'll hit up all the categories. Then there's the thing we just said, the 308 SPR, which I would consider to be like this is a nebulous definition, but I would consider it a lighter weight. Like it's not a sniper rifle. but it's a GPR with longer range equipment attached to it. So a longer range scope and a bipod, but still considerations to be used battle rifle-esque. So we have to cut down on some weight. We can't put too much bullshit on it, right? Nothing fancy sapper. And then there's the sniper rifle system, which is generally going to probably be 6.5 nowadays, or something like that. And that thing, you do not carry about a weight. You're a fucking pillbox with that thing. Or it sits in your car, and then you know it's like, hunter killer team, and they get out. And it's like, good job, Fruity Rudy. You engaged the target at 800 yards. I'm just so happy I killed him. That's what I love about you, man. You're just so fucked up.
So, as far as the battle rifle thing goes,
back to the battle rifle. That's the focus of the video.
Trip. Yeah, exactly. This last little shooting extravaganza, I was using the SIG tread in what is basically battle rifle configuration. So it's got a weapon light, vertical grip.
That was even like light. That's like purest battle rifle too, by all standards, because there wasn't night vision.
It was clean. Right? I didn't bother with night vision on that one.
BFG.
It would be relatively easy to add, even just a laser's like a backup option. You know, just to have even like that US night vision.
Yeah, I think that would make sense.
Illuminator. To have a designator option, whatever, but mainly it's essentially set up the same as I would set up, you know, like the lightweight rifle that I was shooting, the 5.56 one, which is LPVO weapon light, optional bipod, that kind of thing. And we were hiking it up and down the hills or whatever, and I had a 4 mag load on a chest rig, and it didn't feel too heavy. But that's the Voodoo 1 to 10 is a relatively light scope. You know, a little heavier for an LPVO, lighter than almost any medium magnification scope. It's about 20 ounces, I think, something like that. And then a weapon light, a small, lightweight weapon light. And that was really all that I had on there. No suppressor. I have shot that gun quite a lot suppressed, and I didn't really enjoy it. It suppresses pretty well, but the shooting experience of suppressed 308, at least without any additional tuning, wasn't awesome, and that gun doesn't really tune because it's fixed gas block. But that's essentially it. I was shooting that, you know, battle rifle style more or less with an LPVO, and certainly the ballistics of 16-inch 308 is preferable to 16-inch 5.56, and just in terms of how easy it is to make hits at intermediate range. And then you get into the really nebulous stuff of like 308, does it have better cover defeating capabilities? Maybe. I don't know if that's even a thing we care about or really want to worry about too much. Like, I guess you could punch through some barriers.
Yes, it's a yes and no question. I think it's something that you're like, oh, neat, it comes with barrier defeat, but you're not like, I'm going to get 308 for barrier defeat, because FMJ 308, it's not, I mean, sure, it beats 5.56, but that's a really low fucking bar.
When you think about that, you think about
checkpoint gun. Sorry, where were you at?
I wasn't going to say it.
I
you think about Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, where you can see enemies through cover because you have like the weird little outline of the guy, and then you get like the heavy battle rifle, and then you can shoot guys through cover with it. You're like, fuck yeah, that's what 308 does. Like, well, first of all, that was a video game. You can't actually see people through cover. Trust me, I've tried it. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's one of those. That's like almost like the excuse that you use when you're trying to justify it. But the real stuff that I can point to is the fact that 308 is just a little. You don't have to hold as much for wind or elevation at intermediate ranges. It's just a little more point and shoot.
Yeah, it's.
And that's not even the lightest rifle. I mean, when we talk about battle rifles, and we talk, okay, now what about the Ruger SFAR? Even lighter, significantly lighter, basically the same weight as an AR-15. So the only increased weight that you're taking is bigger magazines, heavier ammunition. So now our weight penalty is reduced. We still have probably some ammunition capacity restrictions. But 308 GPR battle rifle, I mean, is it back? Does something lightweight like the SFAR sort of salvage the battle rifle from the bin of historical obscurity?
Do we try to answer that question right now? Because obviously our minds are going to change as we especially me.
I guess that's what thing I want to know what your thought is of that concept just in general, and then
I've come around to it because initially it was like battle rifle's fucking dead, right? Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people have that, but the more I think about it, I don't think if you're happy with that's a bad way to put it. But generally, I probably wouldn't want to run a 308 battle rifle system. I don't think there's anything. Sorry, that's wrong. There is stuff gained, but the trade-off isn't worth it to me. But I think there are certain locales, especially if you're rural, where 5.56 begins to be really fucking annoying to use with high winds and longer range shots. And I think there's absolutely something to be said about the fact that you've reduced the decision-making process when engaging targets at 200 to 300 yards with medium wind from hold, roughly 2, up, high, all right, engage, follow up, go, with 308, center punch, right.
So we can share an embarrassing anecdote from our shoot, which is that I forgot which voodoo was on my rifle. I used to have the 1-6 SR2 reticle, I think SR2, which is the 7.62 BDC. And it's trued for M118 LR at a certain velocity, which you don't get from a 16-inch, but it was very close, and I had it like adjusted up a click. So when I had it at the last shoot, I had the 1-6 voodoo, and it was pretty much, the BDC was pretty much accurate for M118 LR. And now I've replaced it with the Voodoo 1-10, which is an MOA grid reticle. And there's also a Milrad grid reticle, but they're not BDCs. And I forgot about that because I was more thinking about like, well, this thing's zeroed for M118 LR at 100 yards. But I was shooting exclusively Barnaul steel because I brought like 300 rounds of that I had to get rid of. And so I was like, okay, well, it's not going to be exactly on. It's going to be a little bit slower. It's going to hit a little bit lower. I'll just hold a little bit higher than I would otherwise. So we kept like, we'd go to, we'd set up on the side of the hill, range the target, 400 yards. And I'd be like, all right, I'm going to hold on the 4. And then a little higher because I'm shooting steel instead of M118 LR. And I was getting hits pretty consistently, even though the 4 is 4 MOA, not 400 yards like it was on the SR2. So I don't know if it's fucking hypoxia or just retardation, but I was not aware of what fucking reticle I was using, apparently. But the fact of the matter was, it was still easy to get hits at, 300 to 450 yards, intermediate ranges. It was not that difficult to either get the hits first try or just to be like, oh, I see that was a little bit left, I'll correct, or a little bit low, I'll correct it. So I enjoyed that. Like shooting at that range with a 5.56 would either have required dialing or multiple, called spoiler shots, I guess.
Yeah.
With 308, it just seemed like point and click, point and shoot. Like, appreciated that. And that's only a 16-inch. Like, you could go to 18-inch, whatever. So
yeah,
I kind of like it.
To tie into that, I am of the opinion that the upsides of 308 in terms of lethality and barrier defeat are not, maybe not justified, but aren't worth the squeeze if that's why you're doing it. I think the squeeze is worth doing it when the ease of engaging at range are required, right? So your locale has a lot of really fucking long sight lines, which means you probably don't live in a city, and you probably live in a fairly rural area with high winds in one of those states for the 308 battle rifle. I don't care about at least for me personally. That's how I view it at this time, and because you're taking a pretty big hit in terms of how the rifle handles, even naked. Those things feel like a fully equipped 5.56 gun with nothing on it. Because I don't want to imagine what the fuck a 308 gun with a suppressor, laser, aiming module, flashlight, and LPVO feels like, which is what you need to do if you want a true battle rifle. Because, okay, maybe the battle rifle isn't dead, but the fucking naked battle rifle probably is, right? The fucking your PTR 91 with
Iron Sights battle rifle, yeah, the PTR 91, that's dead. FAL's dead. And yeah, I will say that like I was using a 16-inch barreled 308 with no suppressor, which you probably, we typically tend to kind of like suppressors on our GPRs or like our intermediate length guns. I had a very small single cell Arisaka 300 E1HT light with no remote switch, just a tail cap. I didn't have a laser. I didn't have a bipod. All I had was a vert grip, and I had just an LPVO, no piggyback, no offset, no high magnification scope. None of that stuff. And the SIG 716 is already a relatively lightweight rifle. Like as far as the DPMS LR308 pattern goes, it's not the lightest, but it's far from the heaviest. Now, if you were to go with the SFAR, you drop, I don't know, 2 pounds almost, I think, from the naked rifle while maintaining the same barrel length. Um, Now, okay, can you put all of your accessories on the SFAR? No, because it doesn't have a top rail. You could replace the top rail with certain other types of rails. I think like maybe the Midwest rails or something like that. Those are not a great candidate for hosting night vision equipment, but you can still do it. Maybe the SFAR plus all the other equipment brings it back up to an acceptable weight. Let's say probably on the heavy side, but acceptable. But you still have to deal with the hit to ammunition carriage because the ammunition weighs a lot more. The magazines are bigger and they weigh more. I was using a pusher rig, which is 4 mags. That rig is too big for me. It was uncomfortable with the backpack compared to the Pathfinder rig I was using for 5.56, which is 5 mags. And so 5 30-round mags versus 4 20-round mags.
And those mags weigh more,
approximately the same footprint. Yeah, the mags weigh more, the ammo weighs more. That's a big hit. And when people are already freaking out over like, oh, you're only carrying 4 mags, you're killed in the streets, you need 6+1, 8+1, 12+1. Then you're saying like, okay, well, you know what? It was already a bit of a push for me to do a 4+1 rig because that pusher rig is a little oversized. So I probably would replace it with a different rig, which would probably be three mags.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about putting mags in the backpack, but even then, it's like you're giving up a lot in the battle rifle.
80 rounds.
Yeah.
Your combat load with your 5.56 gun is like 210 minimum. You're just lopping 130 rounds off the top of that. Just whoop.
Yeah.
And again, also another thing that's really, I think we talk about this a lot, is that we're probably not running in like a 12-man team or anything like that. Like maybe it's you and another guy, maybe it's you and 3 other guys, whatever. But that's why caliber commonality, magazine commonality, and ammunition carriage per man becomes a lot more important.
Yeah.
When you don't just have like oh, you know what? Hey, man, you with the battle rifle, you just chill in the back. We'll call you up when you need you. It's like, no, we need everybody all the time.
Yeah. And there's something to be said about the fact, right? Even if you have a 6-man team, which is huge, if you have a squared away 6-man team, that's huge. Why are all 6 people out in the field at the same time? Right. Reality is you're going to have to leave people at home to take care of the homestead, if that's even a possibility.
Doing the gardening, yeah.
Yeah, and doing stuff. And sending all people out, you're just fucking through your caloric fucking base. And that's a big footprint too. You're going to create a bigger footprint out there. So I'm going to try 308 308 battle rifle. See how it feels when configured as essentially a GPR, and then kind of go from there. I'm a big fan of the tasteful 308 sapper. So take a lightweight 308 platform. Night vision is a secondary consideration. I might even go passive with a fucking vampire. We'll see. Might not even fucking do any laser on there at all. Bipod, 2 to 10x maybe 4 to 16. Red dot, off to the races. It's a easier to use SPR. 5.56 SPR. Like, I'm excited about that. I'm less excited about the sniper system. That might be a cool toy I own, but I don't know how much utility I will get out of a sniper system. You know, like a 13, 14 pound sniper with no fucking peripheries on it. You know,
that's one of those things where I wonder about like kind of splitting the difference, because the other thing that I'm trying to put together is a proper like sapper gun, and the tread's not really that. I mean, 2 inches of barrel is not really like worth freaking out over, but it's just the whole thing is not really configured in that way, and I kind of want to keep it in its current configuration. So okay, let's build a new 18-inch and use that as a sapper base with more magnification, etc. When I was looking at just like building out or buying an Arrow M5 and realizing that all the Arrow uppers use the same barrel, which is an incredibly heavyweight profile. I don't even know what they call that profile or whatever, but like it's not government, it's not Hansen, it's thick as fuck. Ballistic Advantage makes a lot of lighter profile barrels, but Arrow only uses the thick one. And I was like, okay, you know, if you are really intending this to be the SAS, CSAS, or whatever, like specifically a stationary gun that you bust out at certain times or you just leave in a fixed position, cool, no problem. Heavy barrel profile, great. Heavy gun, more stable, you know, faster follow-up shots, all that stuff. I don't I don't see myself ever actually using that outside of just like, having a good time or whatever. It doesn't make
I
a lot of sense to me
absolutely
as a
want
real
one
gun.
to just see what is. It's a bolt. It's essentially going to be treated in a similar fashion as a bolt gun that has faster follow shots. Because I really just want to see like what can be done. Like going out to Utah and just be like, lol, 800 yards, fuck you. That'll be cool. That's cool as hell. Is it something I would ever realistically grab? I don't know. If I lived in a fucking skyscraper tower, I'd just hand it to a friend and it's like, this is your life now. And sure. But outside of that, so I like the middle ground for the 308. I'm not sold on the battle rifle. I'm not sold on the sniper. I like the tastefully magnified bipoded hybrid. That's my thoughts.
And it's not going to be a foul.
No.
Because putting a scope
Even
on those.
even Kip Bradger killed
yeah.
his foul.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You're like, no, it's fine, dude. You just put a railed top cover on. It's held in place with friction and 12 hex nuts. You're like, yeah, that's not real, dude. That's not a real option. That is.
I think the issue is the sexiest guns of
Reddit.
all time were battle rifles.
Yeah. But that's because it was okay. For some reason, it was okay to have a combat load of 80 rounds of ammunition, no weapon light, and no magnified optic. Man, the 50s were cool.
Man, based. I don't want to get into it too much now, so let's begin to wrap it up. But
yeah,
I'm not entirely sold.
Speculation.
I'm not entirely sold on the concept of brush gun, but I'd like to do some testing. But from what I've seen, it's not. I swear to God, 308 is not this laser beam through brushes. It just isn't. But I want to do some testing before I really commit onto that. I couldn't be entirely wrong, but in very short-term anecdotal testing, it didn't seem like it. Yeah.
It's one of those things where if anybody tells you that they've tested it, they probably haven't tested it in like an actually scientific way. Because if you're like, all right, I'm going to shoot this brush with a 308. Okay, now I'm going to do it with the 5.56. Did you clear the brush with the 308 or vice versa? It just doesn't. Too many variables.
Yeah, it's tough to.
It would take a lifetime of
like.
No,
I need to buy identical fucking pot plants from Walmart and swap the pot plants out every time.
Oh my God!
Because they get
truth.
Yeah, they get depleted as you shoot them.
Get Paul Harrell to come up with a replacement. So he's got his meat target. He needs to come up with his bush target.
Yeah. Buy some
calibers through a fake
buy
bush.
some fucking.
Go to the Hobby Lobby.
Buy some succulents.
Fake bush. No, you get a shitload of popsicle sticks. You glue them together in exactly the same configuration every time, and you shoot it through them.
That's actually probably the way to do it.
Paul, hook it up, brother.
Okay.
We're going to have to save... Yeah, there's going to be a whole ass Brass Facts video series about that, so you just fucking wait and see.
All right, I think that's kind of whets the appetite of the viewer. On what we got planned. You're already dabbling into 308, but
sick of battle rifles. I don't want to do that shit anymore because I just reviewed like 4 of them. You're about to start doing battle rifles,
and I will be sick of it.
Take it in the precision direction, and then if everything works out properly, then maybe we'll go on a shoot where I have got a configured zapper and you've got a configured battle rifle, and we can run them side by side and see what happens.
Yeah, has Hop done the Harry Potter theory yet? Yes. Somebody please link him that video.
Long time ago. It's on the Nova Group channel. Google, go look on YouTube, the Nova Group, all one word, the Nova Group.
Ooh, we got some spicy questions. I'm gonna blast through some of the more simpler ones, and we'll wrap up the night. You can't read that watch. Cut that shit out.
I'm just reminding people that I do in fact own a watch. I am very wealthy.
Okay, I'll start going through some of these. I appreciate the donations, the tips, essentially. So thank you very much. So if I'm going through it fast, it's more so the question and not that I'm appreciative of the income. Hop is too. You can see how much he likes his bush lights. Those are expensive.
Actually,
what the fuck is that?
I'm drinking Michelob Ultra.
Those are not bad. I like this.
Because as I've recently entered a new income bracket, thanks to all these wonderful super chats, now I can afford the finer things in life, like Michelob Ultra.
Shazil Amid. $5. Block 2 M4 is the superior fighting rifle. Compared to 308 battle rifles? Probably. Not much to say there. That's not even a question. James Collins, $2. Thoughts on MCX or piston AR? I want to try the new MCX thingy.
The MCX is a piston AR.
And I have a video coming up on 4 piston ARs. More or less, it's the exact same logic I have with 308. the features in and of itself aren't enough to justify its existence, it's still got to be a damn good rifle. I don't know. What's your thoughts on pistons? I think I like them more than you, right? Generally speaking. You fucking hate folding stocks.
I've got... Oh, do you think I can show half of a gun
no,
on YouTube? Probably not.
No, blue balls. All right, you explain this. I need to pee.
You're doing all the modern pistons. I, as a collector of old discontinued shit, I finally tracked down a SIG 516 upper, which is interesting for a couple reasons. One, it's discontinued, and I love discontinued guns. Two, it is, as you can explain to your friends, technically better than a 416. Because the guy who designed the 416 then went to work for SIG and designed the 516. And that's why it's called the 516, because it's better than a 416. Is any of that true? I don't give a shit. It's a piston upper. It weighs 12 pounds by itself. So it doesn't really matter. But because it is adjustable gas piston, I guess I can fuck around with it, different suppressors, all that stuff. So it'll be a cool thing to test out. It's also got that like late 2000s, early 2010s flavor. It does have a quad rail, of course, but I could replace the quad rail with a carbon fiber rail, which I certainly will do because, I don't know, it's probably the only time I'm ever going to actually... Okay, now I'm getting a seizure. Thanks a lot. Probably the only time I'm ever going to actually use a carbon fiber rail on anything. So, yeah, Brock's got the modern stuff covered. Just wait. He's got every piston AR you can currently buy, and I will have a video about a piston AR you can't buy just to round things out.
Yeah. Yeah, I like piston guns, but they need to not be heavy bitch monstrosities. I also don't like folding stocks, generally speaking, on fighting rifles.
And the thing that we learned, that maybe you'll talk about this as well, is that like everybody's like, oh, the piston AR is way better because it doesn't dump crap back into the chamber. You're like, yeah, it does, because most of the crap comes out of the chamber, not out of the gas tube. So, whoops.
Chromosome Hoarder 69. What a name. Bring on roof.
69, that's a lot of chromosomes, dude.
I mean, how do you think he writes these comments? Thanks for the $2. You need to lose some more chromosomes so you bring that number up. Bring on roof. I think it would be fun if we brought on like Luke, Roof, and all the like the gangs. It'd be fun. Because that's basically the TFB West gang at this point, right?
The only problem with that is that I already have to talk to them a lot. And talking to them more might be too much.
That's fair. That's fair.
But we'll see.
Or maybe I'll just ruin that friendship so you come over here and then you ruin this friendship and now you're trapped. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah, that could work.
Omni Armadillo Bandit for 10 doll hairs in the yellow. Hey y'all, I have one arm and use a Bear Creek side charger upper at me. Did you
read the whole thing?
No, that's the whole thing. Here, I'll send it to you.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because there's almost no way to. I mean, like the whole thing with an AR charging handle is that it requires like pinching or like getting your hands in and around like stuff. That is the major advantage of the side charger. Like the side charger, you can just bash it off at anything like a.
Okay, that's what he means. Okay, I was a little confused there. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's finally someone has come up with a compelling argument in favor of the Bear Creek side charger.
Dude, I honestly really like the BRN 180 side charger. That was fun. I already miss it.
Did they ever make they should make a lower profile charging handle for that though, right? Because it sticks out super far just because it looks cool and retro. Don't go grab it. Brock, no. I don't know what he's doing, you guys. I'm sorry.
It's lying there the whole time.
Well, don't draw attention to it. Now we're really in trouble.
Yeah. Would you say the Night... Actually, that's not even technically a gun, so I'm good. Would you say the Night Force 2-10X NX8 is worth $1,400? I don't know. I haven't tried one. I have not heard great things.
Ask Joby. He will say no. And if Joby says no, then the answer is no. I think the problem with the 2-10 is... I want to say it is uncapped, unlocked windage turret, which is like one of those trigger points for me. Because those are just never where you left them. They just aren't.
Yeah, I don't know with
stupid bias.
I'm probably gonna try an NX8 while I'm in the lobby, the waiting lobby for the Leopold, whatever the fuck it's called. I might try one. I have a video of.
Because your experience with the 1-8 went so well, you're like, I should do this again.
I mean, my experience with
I
primary
should.
arms.
The NX8 wasn't very good, so I should buy a lower tier Night Force, and maybe that it's better.
I mean, my experience with primary arms is pretty shit, but my god, do I like the 1-8X PLXC.
I like the look of. I don't know if I'd ever necessarily want to buy one, but the configuration and appearance of one of the SHV scopes. I think it's a 3-12 or something in that approximate range. That configuration is what I like. Like the uncapped zero stop elevation and capped windage. Like I like that stuff, but the SHVs are known to be like heavier and less refined versus the NX8 versus the ATAC or whatever. I mean, it's all tiers in a sense, even though the glass all comes from the same place and it's all Night Force. And then Wordy just goatsied the shit out of his Night Force the other day.
What?
So that was cool.
What?
Yeah, he went to adjust the illumination, and the whole side of the scope just went boing like a fucking eyeball, like one of those like joke eyeballs on a spring, just boing, just popped out. So,
who did that?
I mean, Wordy. You don't know him.
I don't know.
Count yourself lucky, but yeah, I don't know. His fingers are the size of Mack trucks, so I think he could break any scope.
I mean, I broke the NX8 illumination knob, so. All right, Maximus.
You're the wrong kind of engineer.
Yeah, Maximus coming in at $5. Hop, why is the HK51 the best battle rifle?
It's a battle pistol. It's not an HK51. It's a Fleming Firearms 51. I don't know. There's a lot of autistic ways to respond to that question. Because when you shoot one, a whole bunch of fire comes out of the ejection port. So it's sort of like it's causing damage in two directions, and most guns don't do that.
There you go. Yeah, so it's a melee and ranged weapon.
Exactly, yeah. If you hold it this way, it's a ranged weapon, and then you can turn it sideways. Yeah, center axis relock wishes they thought of that trick.
The Libertarian Neighbor with $5. Thanks for the $5. Arranged best to worst. Arizona, Idaho, Oregon, Utah. Utah would be better if we fixed our roads.
Yeah, what criteria?
No, it's just
Oregon's the best state, and our roads are pretty good. We don't salt, which is nice.
You don't need to salt.
We have a weird governor, weirder than our last governor, and that governor was weird. But Utah has a ton of Maverick gas stations, and I really like those.
We also have the South
Arizona has Gunsite Academy. Gunsite Academy is in Arizona, and I like that place. So yeah, man, you just can't go wrong.
Idaho is
all these states is just killing it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
My favorite thing about Maverick is that the gas pumps are really, really slow. So it takes a long time to fill up your truck. So you got to watch the whole commercial that plays on the pump while you're filling.
Well, no one does. You notice everyone in Utah has a complete cunt nuzzle and leaves their car at the pump. So annoying when I had a real.
And they walk inside to like just browse. They're like, oh, do I like Gatorade Frost?
Which brand of? Oh, we should have brought this up in the video. Which brands of Dots is the superior Dots flavor?
Oh, okay. Since I got back and I found another flavor of Dots that we didn't see there, which is Southwestern style flavor.
Okay.
There's something wrong with them.
No.
Don't recommend them.
I did the honey one. I did the honey one the other day.
Bag.
Those were good.
Yeah, the honey one's good. The classic is awesome. Their pork rinds were acceptable, but the Southwestern one in the blue bag, I would not recommend it. If you want to try it, I mean, I bought the big bag. Next time I see you, I'll probably still have most of that bag. I don't know if I'm going to eat it.
Okay.
Disappointing.
Dots stuff. I was introduced to Dots this trip, and I'm a big fan. It's really expensive. Holy fuck.
Somebody in the comments is like, yeah, the Southwest ones are funky. Yeah. Apparently it is known, and they haven't bothered to correct the issue.
It is known.
Everybody knows.
One-armed bandit. What the fuck did I say? Did I say it dumb? I probably said it dumb.
I do wonder what
One-armed bandit donated another $5. I peed a little bit. How badly did I say it?
Did you say Onearm? Onearmed? Onearmed?
I probably said One Onearm Med Bandit or something. Yeah.
Oh boy. Med Bandit.
Med Bandit.
Medicine.
Yeah.
Did my cat wake up and decide to bother me?
Thanks again,
Okay.
Mr. Omed Banded. Hold on. Fuck you, Windows. I don't want to do the search thing. All right, next question. Checkpoint, or actually from the Hiltonator again. That's like his third thing, I think, or second. $2. AR 4570 Gov for shit hit the fan. Checkpoint gun. He's not even humoring the meme.
Where are you finding that? I mean, Fallout New Vegas, yes, because it's one of the more common calibers in that game, but probably not. Although I did, I don't know who it was. Silencer Central, I think they had like a suppressor called the Banish at SHOT Show last year, and they had it on a lever action 4570, and that was kind of insanely fun to shoot. And I think I got to shoot like 2 rounds. I always love when you go to one of those like range booths and they're like, "Here you go, 1 round of 460."
You go for the bullet loops? Nah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a story for another time. But yeah, no. To answer your question,
No. Thoughts on doing 2-gun brutality matches. I know Brassfax has done a couple tactical games. Brutality matches are less like CrossFit sessions, and I'd like to see there. I'd like to do one. Tactical games are indeed just a workout session with a little bit of shooting sprinkled in. I think I'd prefer that over the tactical games that I did. It's just the only thing that's local. So yeah, I'd like to do one. I'd like to do that one in the way up where he's like that one channel we watched while drunk.
Pseudo actual.
Yeah, that stuff seemed pretty
cool. Thing in it's like fucking tactical biathlon in Texas. That stuff looks awesome.
Yeah, that looks cool. You need to be in Utah for a couple of weeks to get your fucking elevation.
Yeah, I don't want to be a oxygen casualty, which is a thing that I just made up to explain why I always get nauseous and a headache.
Why you used your mills as BD or your MOA as BDCs?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's not my fault. I was an oxcaz. That's a short for oxygen casualty.
You did.
Where I run out of air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where I suffocate on my own lungs because I can't go uphill.
Apartment 223, $2. What about the POF Revolution? That's pretty light. I have no idea. Hop.
I'd like to shoot one. I mean, it costs, I think, twice as much as the Ruger SFAR, so it better be good. It does have a stainless barrel, and I have that weird like brain parasite problem where I think, oh, stainless barrel, that's just for bench rest guys. That's not like a fighting rifle doesn't have a stainless barrel. I don't even know if that's true. I just feel that way. So sorry.
Yeah, we'll
but
slot.
Those guns are pretty.
We'll slot that in the same category of your other hatreds like rechargeable. Yep.
Stainless barrels. What are the other? I already forgot them. Doesn't matter. If they were important, I'd remember them.
All right, next question from. Thanks for the $2. Thanks for all the donations. In fact, we do appreciate the beer fund being.
Thanks to all the donations except one. You know who you are. You know what you did. You know why we're not pleased. The rest of you are great.
Firefight 101. T-Rex arms M5 test. Like it or hate it. Fuck, we could do a whole video on that thing. You wanna lead it off?
Super brief version. We're not in the business of like reacting to other people's videos, but the super short version of that is like there are like 2 or 3 people in the YouTube like gun space who can afford to do that kind of test. You get like Iraq veteran 8888 who will just like shoot 600 rounds full auto through a gun and melt it down. It's like destroying a gun and wasting $300 worth of ammunition in 25 seconds. That's so cool. No one else can afford to do that, but it's cool to see it. Same thing with T-Rex arms. Like, man, who can fucking afford 5,000 rounds of 308? So that's the good thing. We rarely get to see long-term or high round count torture tests of guns like that because most people don't have the time or money to do that, especially not if you're trying to make like a review channel. The fact that Mr. Brass of the Factoids here often tries to go to like 1,500 rounds on a review is already insane. The guy's already fucking crazy.
Takes forever.
Yeah, it takes a long time. It costs a shitload of money. And
You like accosted me when I was like, I'm gonna go to 2,000. You're like, no, the fuck you aren't.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know what. It was like some optic where you're like, I don't like this optic at all. I'm like, well, then just like do it quick. And then you're like, no, I got to get 1,000 rounds on. I was like, no, you fucking don't. It sucks. It sucks. You know it sucks. But yeah, okay, that's cool as shit that they can shoot 5,000 rounds in a weekend and really torture test the gun. The negative side is that people way overestimate the amount of rounds they're actually going to shoot through their guns, which is why you get people like freaking out. They're like, what if I don't buy a Cold Hammer Forged chrome lined barrel? And you're like, well, I mean, do you shoot 12,000 rounds a year? And they're like, I shoot like once a year, 200 rounds. It's like, oh, then you can probably get away with a paper mache barrel at that round count. So I'm not sure why you're obsessing over the barrel. So people who are like, oh, you saw that gun, it could only go 3,400 before it had its first parts breakage. And everybody's like, ah, fuck, Arrow M5 sucks ass. And you're like, well, 3,400, it was like 3,400 rounds in a couple days without lubrication, without adjusting properly for suppression. And it had a parts breakage. Wouldn't have taken the gun out of commission if they had a spare firing pin. That was it. I think it was a firing pin breakage. So it's like, okay, that's not bad. Because it'll take me the rest of my life to put 3,400 rounds of 308 through an Arrow M5 or the Sig Tread or whatever, which the Sig Tread's at probably like a little over 1,000 at this point. And that's like a shitload for me. That's a lot of fucking money. So, yeah, I don't know. It's awesome data. Just don't read too much into it or don't take the wrong conclusions out of it, I guess.
I forgot how much of it he was suppressed. Not too much, right? It was pretty not.
Maybe 50-50 or something like that. I feel like they did a couple, maybe they did like 1,000 or
I am strongly of the opinion that high round count suppressed usage without cleaning is not a thing. Specifically when you shoot, stop shooting, and the gun goes through thermal cycles and all the goop just kind of builds up in there. It's gonna malfunction. All guns do it unless it's an AK and the gas port size is larger than the barrel. Like, it's just gonna be a thing. So I think some of yeah, it's a great video. Like, it's an excellent video. I just don't like.
I want people with that kind of money. Basically them. I want them to do that to a bunch more guns now, basically. It's like, I want to just see the worst case scenario.
Because very few people can do that.
Yeah, it's like talking about your combat load. There's a good analogy is the Forgotten Weapons video talking about the RPD. The barrel on the RPD is not quick change. That's the belt-fed version of like the AK or RPK, precursor to the RPK. The barrel's not quick change. If you go cyclic and dump your whole 600-round combat load, the barrel will melt and fall off. But if that ever happened, you would be out of ammo, and it would be the biggest disaster of your entire life, right? So it's like, okay, what scenario do you think of where you're going to go 3,400 rounds without being able to clean your gun and without a spare firing pin? Now it starts to look pretty solid. Same thing with that RPD. You're like, man, 600 rounds, full combat load in 2 seconds, dump, cool.
I
don't know, just be smart. Like, I mean, stuff can sound like really apocalyptic or really interesting or really cool or whatever, but like just take a step back and then apply a little bit of your just like common sense. Just sort of apply it to your own actual life situation or your own scenario. Maybe.
Little off topic, reminds the RPD story kind of reminds me of for some of the SF units there, SOF units, they had the fucking M134 minigun on top of the Humvees. And the barrel would fucking it would heat up and sag enough that the spin would cause it to kill itself at about 1,100 rounds. And the box chains, the boxes were specifically 1,000 rounds. So if you go cyclic, you wouldn't blow up your fucking minigun. Kind of a cool thing.
It's like if you're in those extraordinary circumstances, you know, I mean, like I can't remember what the name of the outpost was, but it's the outpost at the heart of the film. Restrepo. The outpost.
Oh, yeah.
Not Restrepo. Someone's going to comment it. It's going to be counting coup all over again. Anyway.
They're Googling it right now.
Yeah. Oh, you guys didn't know? Yeah, because I'm not on Wikipedia right now, shithead. Yeah, like, I mean, they talk about how, like, guys fucking dumped an entire combat load cyclic out of an M4. And they're like, this thing overheated. And you're like, yeah, but then again, they didn't have to shoot it ever again after that. You know? Because that was the last fucking, the last 210 rounds that M4 ever fired. And it was all cyclic, and then the thing was melted and dead. So.
Right, what do you
and you're
think about the
guaranteed for a
best
lot.
way to incorporate thermal into a night vision setup? Probably handheld.
I think yes. Currently, my
Or if
theory
you're
is
very
handheld
rich, a
binocular.
very expensive clip-on, but no one is because you're asking me a question. So a handheld.
Yeah, the added utility of being able to have the handheld separate, hand it around, hand it to the guy on watch, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever.
Hey,
Like
hey.
clip
What
it
does
onto
this
a
look like?
PVS-14.
Anything to
Pretty
you?
useful.
Where? Right there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, is that a cow? No, idiot. It's not a fucking cow.
It's a dude looking
It's a
at you.
steer. That's a steer. You can see the testes. You fucking retard. Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
It's an Arabian. Oh no.
Like with Counting Coup and the name of the outpost that I forgot, I'm sure someone's going to be like, steer or castrated so they wouldn't have testes. Okay. Calm down. Don't fact check my jokes. I really hate it when you do that.
Nova, calm down. Go on the couch. Fox 9, $10. Hop. As much as you shoot, why do you still use... This is a good question. This is a question I ask myself every time. Why do you still use Walker Ear Pros? Wouldn't it be a worthy investment to get something better?
Define better.
Like
higher NRR or
like
better
a
sound quality?
more comfortable... Yeah, sound quality. Like a pair of... Like the Peltors, the non-contact Peltors for like $100. Or 120. I don't remember what I paid for mine.
I don't know, like more than that. So
They're like 150. I have the 3M ones that sound exactly.
Yeah, the Sport Tax or whatever they are.
Those are really nice. Yeah. Do you want mine, by the way?
They're okay.
It's in a box. Just.
I mean, I have gel cups on my razors. I find them to be very comfortable. In terms of audio quality, it's acceptable. Also, it doesn't matter. In terms of NRR, it's good enough, especially with gel cups. So, the biggest complaint that I've heard against razors is they don't have true stereo separation, like Howard Lights do, for example. So probably Howard Lights with gel cups would be better, but also stereo separation doesn't matter a lot to me because I'm almost completely deaf in my left ear. So it's sort of like, whatever.
Interesting.
I like razors. They're comfortable. I've never had an issue with razors getting pushed up off of my cheek or like ear. And I used to shoot shotguns a lot more than I do now, and that was more of an issue then. Even Howard Lights, which are very low profile, still would get pushed off my ear more than razors. So, yeah.
That's interesting because for me,
why not upgrade? Why upgrade? I don't
so know. For me, if I had them, I'd be pissed off. Like Howard Lights, I had Howard Lights on my old helmet, hated them, and it's not the comfort thing; it's the sound, the audio quality sound pisses me off.
Well, then razors would make you want to blow your brains out.
Yeah,
they're worse
they're
Lights.
really bad. They're really bad. I bought an Optics Planet. Why did I lay it? Oh, I guess he laid it. I bought an Optics Planet special SOP mod. Oh my god, op mod version of the primary arms 4-14 FFP Razor H. I hate these fucking primary arms names. ACSS specifically 556. I can't find a sunshade. Any thoughts? You probably don't need it. I don't know. I don't think they're necessary.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
If you really want just better performance in sun, buy a Loophole because their coatings are better.
What kind of Jazz? It's James with an extra S in the middle of James.
Did you figure out a re? You're having a hard time.
Jams's 23 for $5. What kind of scope should I get for an AR-10? LPVO seems underpowered. Yeah, if you want to go out farther, LPVOs are also just not maybe not underpowered, just not suited to the task. I would say, because you can get a 1 to 10x, but it's
battle rifle versus sapper. Stay tuned to the upcoming Brass Facts video to learn more.
What would you recommend? 3 to 15, 4 to 20? Depends how far you want to go. 4 to 16 is a pretty comfortable range. I guess 3 to 15 is as well.
I like also 2 to probably. 10s. I mean, budget's going to factor a lot into it. I really like that Loophole Mark 5 HD 3 to 18, but that's a pretty expensive scope.
Yep. Will we ever see Hop on 1911?
No, probably not. I don't know. Those guys are so fucking busy because they've got real jobs and they do YouTube. Too difficult. I can only handle one at a time. I can only handle being either employed or unemployed, not both.
Kartoffelwerfer. Isn't that potato thrower? $10. Do you have a seasonal carry gun? I got my CCL in November, and I've been carrying a CZ75. Jesus. Since then, I'm not eager to see what summer heat does to that little stick below gun. It's not too big a deal because it hangs out in your body and you thermal throttle it basically as a heat sink. But yes, I have seasonal carry guns. In the summer when I'm wearing really light shirts that are kind of shrunk, I want to carry a single stack. But sometimes I want to carry a double stack.
Do you take the appendix carry pill then seasonal carry stops existing because you can carry fucking anything appendix.
I can't carry everything appendix, so I have to do single stack appendix in the summer for depending on which shirt I pull out the closet. Print prototype, which is for the record, our cameraman. Can you give Nova 2 improved a treat, please? She looks hungry.
She says she doesn't want one. I guess it's worth a shot. Maybe regular Nova can help her get that one down. I don't think regular
Nova wants one. What do you think?
Oh my god.
I don't think she wants it.
Oh my god. Want it, right?
Do you want this?
She might want it a little.
Alright,
that's such a big treat. Those things are crazy huge. I'm sure they're low calorie or something, but yeah, I don't know. The stuffed Nova is too polite to eat a treat on stream. That's
yeah. So Nova will handle it. All right, next question. We're about to catch up again. Julian, $10. I appreciate the $10 instead of the $9.99. Like, that's a manly move. Marry, fuck, or make dead. Okay, so from your perspective, it would be me, James, and Hickok. And from my perspective, it would be you, James, and Hickok. So
Marry
I would
Hickok
obviously...
because he's old and has a lot of money, he'll be dead soon, and then it's all mine.
Fuck, that's good.
No offense, man, but...
Yeah, you're going to kill me, aren't you?
James
is
kind of hot, dude.
he's
and you're not rich or hot, so
honestly, I would do the exact same thing because Hickok, he's got the money, right?
I
and I wouldn't mind hanging out with him.
It only makes sense,
and I wouldn't mind hanging out with him. Yeah,
a couple years of comfortable retired marital bliss with Hickok 45.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's got a nice wood stove. Like, man, that'd be the best. And then he dies, and you're sad for a little bit, but you have the money to sort of console you in your time of need. Plus, you have all those memories of that steamy tryst you had with James Reeves. And then I'm out of the picture, or you're out of the picture, as the case may be. And you're, like, quietly satisfied about that. Obviously, you've got to pretend like it's a real, I miss him every day. But he is dead forever.
Oh, shit. That was too easy.
That is a great question, but it was... Yeah, I feel like you could have.
You could have replaced Hickok with something else. Replace Hickok with, like, I don't know, somebody from
cool
Goober's
and
group.
rich.
Somebody from
Mike Glover.
Yeah,
what if it was Mike Glover? Then I would kill myself immediately.
All right, Nox Spectre. Yeah, Spectre. With $5. Is that a cat in a tactical suit? Hop, you had the barrel life concerns about the Sage Roscoe 12.5-inch bloodline barrel mentioned. That's not a question.
I'm talking about like barrel life. Yeah. Most people, it probably doesn't matter at all. But I don't want to spend a lot of money putting together a gun with a stainless barrel. I guess the real difference is the difference between a 12.5 in 5.56 and a whatever length barrel in 6.5 Creedmoor or whatever. How many rounds are you going to put through your 20-inch barreled 6.5 Creed versus how many rounds do you plan to put through your GPR, night gun, whatever that you've configured with a 12.5 barrel? Round count's going to be way higher. Also, if you're brass facts, you're going to shoot a lot of tool of steel. Steel has greatly... I mean, he burned out a fucking 11.5 barrel with steel already.
That was not subtle. Like, people talk about...
That wasn't 4140. That wasn't stainless. That was a 4150 CRMOV QPQ barrel, and he burned the shit out of it with...
And it wasn't like, when some people, it's like, I burnt my barrel out, and it's like, what? Yeah, my barrel shoots 4 MOA now, or 3 MOA. No, this motherfucker was keyholing with a group this big at, like, 10 yards.
The MOA was no longer capable of containing the scale of the disaster.
Meters.
It was beyond MOA.
Yeah.
It was not minute of angle, it was hours of angle. That thing was fucked.
Hours on the clock. Lord Huck.
Yep.
$9.99. Streamlight. Good enough for its HSTF gun. Yes.
Yes.
In fact, it might even be better in some ways, especially compared to a Surefire. So thanks for the 10
Sad,
bucks,
but true.
Lord Huck. Simple question. But yeah, they're totally fine. Are they less reliable? Buy two. But I haven't had issues with the HLX.
You're still saving money. And then you've got 2 tape switches and 2 tail caps, and that's definitely going to help too.
Real human guy. Sounds like a completely normal, real human person.
Believable.
Believable, yeah.
I'm falling for it as we speak.
$5. Will you be making a guest appearance on the $1 Million Extreme Season 2? What the fuck is that?
I don't want to fight anybody. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I don't know what $1 Million Extreme
It's Sam Hyde.
presents.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Now, if he wants me to guest star in his next TED Talk,
Wait, hold on.
my appearance fee is very affordable.
Okay, I don't know what this is. Yeah. Sorry, real human guy. I look forward to seeing this totally real human again. German Sherman. It's actually kind of a funny name. $5. Fun fact, if you have the Malkoff E2HT Lighthead, plastic Coke bottle caps just click onto the end and hold tight enough that you don't need anything else. So you can like protect it. That's kind of cool. Do I have a Coke cap?
I have an E1HT here, and I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same diameter, but I don't have a plastic bottle head, but I will try it next time
Next time I have a plastic bottle Coke. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Mr. Sherman German.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
And you could spray paint one of those nice color of green or brown.
And save $30 to order something like that online.
What did he say? What bottle size? Does it matter? Are they all the same size now?
Basically.
1 liter, 2 liter, 20 ounce. It's all the same shit.
All the same. Firefight 101.
I don't
think so.
All right. Not to call your super chat into question, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't believe you, but I will try it.
Firefight 101. 5 doll hairs. Can one of you check if the Zenturion website? Yeah, I don't even know how that's.
Zenturion?
Zenturion. Yeah. Let me see.
Or do you just not know how to pronounce the letter C?
No, there's no C.
What in the goddamn?
Does he mean Centurion?
About? I don't know. Those letters aren't that close together.
Can you check the Zenturion website and see if they're worth the time or money? They make bags and carriers in Fleck.
Zenturion was a white Martian and a member of the alien super team known as the Hypersean. Zenturion and his 7 colleagues came to Earth several years ago, claiming to be the last survivors of a world that had been destroyed by a geological upheaval and environmental irresponsibility. That can't be what you meant. Let's try the second result on Google. Zenturion Software Development and Consulting GmbH. That is a German company. That sounds right with the Flecktarn, but the fact that it's a software company sounds wrong. The links on top of their page are augmented reality, artificial intelligence, and telematics, which is a word they literally made up. That's it, man. I only go to the second Google result, so I cannot help you. I'm sorry.
Did I miss a thing? Sean Murphy says I missed them. Can you retype your question maybe and at me? Sorry, it's hard to keep up with some of these. Yeah, I don't have it. James Collins. Any value in running an Elka Inspector with reptilian saddle red dot mount? I assume that's a piggyback thing.
Yeah, but no. Elkans are just don't bother.
Okay.
Save your money.
I have a RMR on mine with something similar. So yes, I think so. Mainly for passive aiming, and that's really about it. Julian! I swear I guess we have more Julian questions. Thanks again, Julian, with the full $10. On then T-Rex arms. Oh, it's the repeat of the fuck kill Mary. T-Rex arms, Iraq veteran, Clint from Classic Firearms. So I already know Hop's answer.
Do you?
At least for the kill.
Wait, what?
Mary fuck
Are you
kill.
confusing him with the guy from Lucky Gunner, Chris Baker?
No. T-Rex arms, Iraq veteran, Clint from Classic Firearms.
What do you think my answer is?
No, let's hear it.
I'm worried that you'll change your answer after you hear. Well,
should I do mine first? I guess.
Sure.
Man, this one really sucks. I think marry Iraq veteran. That seems like a very stable future.
If you're chasing the money, but I gotta tell you, I think you would want to marry Clint from Classic Firearms.
You think so?
And I think you would probably. Oh man, this is a really.
Do you have to kill
After that,
T-Rex
all bets
arms
are
because
off.
you say so you can say yeah like I killed T-Rex arms like oh
Yeah, you'd get a lot of clout for that. So I guess you do. You have to kill him.
T-Rex.
And
If
then
you
just
kill a
gotta,
Iraq veteran, it's like dude, what the fuck?
yeah, then you got to take IV-8088 for the team. So,
Yeah. All right.
but that is the only way I can think of that makes that. I was gonna say palatable, but not even palatable. But like like I could get through it, and I'd be married to Clint from Classic Firearms at the end of the day, which is that's not bad. There's some perks that come with that. Move on.
Yeah. I'm just grabbing the rest of the. Okay. Comped $2. Ops core, amps, or nothing. That's not a question, but thank you for the $2.
Not a question, and it's also wrong. How strange.
All right, you want to elaborate on that, or not?
Upscore amps are overpriced and overrated.
Okay. Sean Murphy, thoughts on Stag arms and their tactical series rifle? I don't know.
I didn't know they still existed. I thought that they got caught up in the whole Cerberus thing, but maybe not. Seems like Savage. Like Savage made a like an AR series, but it was very obligatory, and I don't think they put that much thought into it. So it sounds about right.
And what's a good poor chest rig for general purpose? The Helicon? That's pretty.
Helicon TMR is still pretty good if they still make it in Cordura. The nylon version's all like chintzy and weird, but failing that, I mean, military surplus is always good. Like.
Honestly, a used HSP.
It doesn't have to be fast.
Use HSP.
Don't freak out about reload
ain't
speed.
Bad. You can get those for like $100 now.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, those are good budget ones. A lot of them are good. Used stuff is pretty good. Adam K, $2. How's the U.S. designated IRV holding up? Well, he said designated IR, assuming he means the designated IRV. At no point has it ever broke that I can't use it, but the original one didn't have co-aligned laser, and the current one doesn't stay on when I shoot it in locked on mode, double tap mode. It stays on if I hold the button down. So, not great, but still functional.
Right on par with the Steiner, sounds like.
Yeah, right on par with Steiner. Firefight 101. He's back again with the Centurion stuff. Look up Centurion and plate carrier. It will come up! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Sherman.
Oh, you don't know how to read.
What is it pronounced? Wait, I sent it to you.
Zentaron. Zentaron.
How is that pronounced Zentaron?
Because there's no I in it.
Zenturon.
Fucking illiterate piece of shit.
Fuck you.
I don't know if it's quality handmade in Germany, that's a good sign, but design wise, I'm seeing fucking Condor Mop C. I'm seeing it's very airsoft looking. I don't know. It's probably not bad. This looks like the shoulder quick releases is very, very much an Agilite ripoff. I don't know. It's all probably acceptable. Quality wise. Design wise, I don't see a carrier on this website that I would spend my money on. Yeah, not quite.
German
But it comes in Flecktarn.
Oh, yeah.
Flecktarn is very cool.
German Sherman's back with $5. Y'all making me pay again. You know you can do 99 cents. Laugh my ass off. Use the black cope cap.
What bottle size? No, we already answered. Do not talk to us ever again. But like in a nice way. I'll try it. I will try it. It doesn't matter what color I use. I'll spray paint it green, so it's fine, I'm sure. But I don't know. I don't buy 2 liters of soda. Sometimes I buy the 20-ounce bottles. I think it's the same size of cap. So I think I will be able to try that.
Wi-Fi for $5. Wi-Fi went out. IDK if you answer my question. I cropped his name out by accident. Will you review the SLX 5X Micro? Yes, it's actually coming this way. With the piggyback mount. I will probably like the 3X more, but I want the piggyback mount. And I might as well get the fucking 5X at that point, right?
Plus he's going to love Milrads because he's European.
The fuck? Lord Hawk. EOTech LPVO worth a damn, or is the $1,300 spent with another company? I personally think it's the best 1 to 10x LPVO, but kind of a mediocre normal LPVO, and the money is indeed better spent elsewhere. With, for example, a PLXC from Primary Arms. I think that's just a better EOTech 1 to 10x, assuming that's the one you mean with the LPVO. Hop?
Yeah, the Voodoo 1 to 6 I get frustrated with because it's fully unlocked turrets, which just makes it seem very competition or like, target shooting oriented. The 1 to 8 is just a very old school design, kind of outdated. The 1 to 10 is probably the best 1 to 10, but it really shines from the 6 to 10. Not so much in the 1 to 6 area because their whole speed ring reticle thing is very much just like an appearances gimmick thing. It's not. It doesn't work as well as the reticle designs on the PLXC. The reticle design on the PLXC is great at 1x. Way better than the EOTech reticle design, and then it makes the illumination like a non-factor. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure C-Deuce has talked about this before, where it's like certain 1 to 10s really just feel like a 2 to 10 with sort of a borderline usable optional 1x tacked on at the bottom.
Sony Senpai with $5. Here's some money towards a VTAC barricade or supplies to make one so you can get rid of that flimsy folding table. Hey, I like that flimsy folding table.
How many bullet holes are in your flimsy folding table?
3 to 4. 5.
Mine's only got like 2.
I was working initially when I had it. I was very much of the opinion that I want to like really push corners on it, and I'll destroy the table in 6 months. But now I've kind of grown to like it, and now I actually just use the table as a table with its bullet holes in it.
Yeah, now you're like, oh my god, I can put my stuff on this? Holy shit. You could put your weird whistling lantern on there.
That's a good whistling lantern. Ooh. Star Wars Pro. Wondering if Hop is from Oregonian, or Gussie even. Originally, my wife think he sounds like a Midwesterner.
I'm from Oregon, but my family's from rural Oregon, so we talk like uneducated hicks from the Midwest, I guess. I don't know. Also, I like to affect that charmingly parochial vibe, I guess. I don't know. Plus, I listened to a lot of Prairie Home Companion when I was a kid, hosted by Garrison Keeler, and that motherfucker is definitely from the Midwest.
What was your
city that knows how to keep its secrets?
What were yours and Hops's first firearm? What's yours?
Marlin 795.
Left
I
hand.
hope they make it again someday.
Yeah.
Left hand. God damn you.
Left-handed.
You're not even really
Savage bolt gun. Burnt that barrel, and then followed by a Walther PPX or whatever, the budget handgun they made.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was a complete piece of shit. I had to return it immediately.
Was that like the Creed?
Oh.
Double action only hammer fire with a big
No.
flapper comes out
It
the
was a
back
striker.
like
It was a
250?
striker. It was a striker. It had the little red thing in the back, but it was really bad. It did not work with ammo, so I had to send it back. And then I switched to a XDM.
Quite the trajectory you've been through.
Yeah. The goop lover is telling Hop to vape.
I can't. I don't even know how to smoke a cigarette properly. That's never stopped me before, though.
Brian Winters. Chance you'll review the new Primary Arms Fiber Illume LPVO. The Nova?
Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
I
already have one in the house. I have a 1 to 6x Nova reticle in the house. I'm just waiting for the gun to put it on.
Chance that I'll review it 0.
You don't like SLXs, right?
No.
What is up with Hop's eyebrow from Chromosome Hoarder 69? Is it not up to 70 yet? We explained this last week. Socko ate it.
Yeah.
Hey, Hop.
Yes.
What's your opinion on the Elcan?
It takes all sorts, man. You know.
Just say the F word.
Against people with learning disabilities.
Somebody donated $5 for you to drop an F-bomb. RMAC 38.
But which F-bomb?
Friendship.
France.
Ooh, that's careful. I don't want to get canceled.
Yeah. You'll know I'm really serious if I call something French. That's
Ooh.
how you know it's on.
All right. You guys, stop donating. We'll answer everything else, but we need to wrap this one up.
Yeah. Rock has to go to bed, and I have to drink more beer.
Moon Thrasher, $5. I just bought an MRO because I'm a lefty.
Wait, you skipped some very important letters.
Yeah, I just bought an MRO Leap because I'm lefty and like the
HD.
top.
HD. Very important. Different optic. Much better.
Okay, that's not as fun though. Bought an MRO HD/Leap because I'm a lefty and I like the top illumination knob. Am I wrong?
How often do you adjust the illumination? I don't know. You are a lefty, so you're. Are you anti Aimpoint T2?
No.
But it's got the right-handed knob. Is that better for you than the buttons on the left side of a Duty RDS? That's another question.
The Duty fucking suck. The Bose buttons fucking suck.
Yeah, that was kind of a disappointment. It's okay to buy an MRO HD because of how much cheaper it is than a T2. That's about the only reason I can think of. But if the illumination knob is a key for you, that's respectable. I get it. I like the top illumination knob. Yeah, that is cool. But,
and what is your favorite blocky ass Mech Warrior 2 mech?
Jeez, that's a fucking tough one. I've always really liked the Commando from Mech 2 Mercs, mainly because you start with one in Mech 2 Mercs, and it's like story. It's like a story mech. It's like important to the story, I guess. Also, the version that you get for free at the start of the game is way better than the regular one. Like, I'm pretty sure the regular variant is going to get really, really autistic for a second. The regular variant's the 2D, and I'm pretty sure the version you get for free is a 7X. The 7X is way better. Because they're trying to make it a little easier for you at the start of the game. So the Commando's just cool looking mech. Other than that, I tend not to like any of the unseen mechs, like the Warhammer and the Marauder and all that shit. They just look different because they obviously were stolen from a different franchise. So I'm just going to go with the Warhawk, maybe. Warhawk's badass.
And with that, I think we shall end it. Thanks for watching, ladies and just gentlemen, probably. Just all gentlemen.
Yeah, ladies, what?
And not probably not even gentlemen.
Just
thanks for watching, you degenerates.
Dudes.
I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate people that hung out, even if you didn't do super chats. I do read the stuff. I just can't. We can't answer all the questions. Otherwise, we'd be here all night.
It's fucking relentless.
It is relentless. It just keeps going and going and going. So, thanks for watching. We'll probably have one sooner with the Kriskiest of Riskiest coming up. And, oh my god, it got real dark in your room. That's,
My windows are freaking out, but cool.
That's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Any last words, Hop?